Well, happy Thursday, everyone, and welcome to another live lawn care Q&A. My name is Ron Henry, and I'm here to help answer your lawn care questions. Now, if this is the first time you're joining us, welcome. Super happy to have you here. The way this works is really simple. On your screen, you will see a chat box, and in that chat box, you can enter your question, concern, comment of the day, and I work through them in the order that they come in. Now, sometimes I have the answers, sometimes I do not, but either way, we have an awesome time talking about lawn care and sometimes life. So guys, tonight we are coming to you, as always, with YouTube being our primary platform. You can also get us on Instagram and Twitter. Tonight, for some reason, Meta is broken, like the stream's not connecting. So if you're on Facebook and you want to watch the stream, come over to one of those other two platforms and you'll be able to participate. So again, if you guys are on any of those other ones, feel free to enter your questions, your comments, and I'll try and work them in as well. Instagram tends to be a bit slower, but we will try our best to get you guys into the show. So guys, it's been a hot summer here in Georgia. Not a ton of rain, unfortunately, and the lawns have been suffering for it. But we got some cool pictures to show you guys tonight from some folks that have some really nice lawns. Simple Cash Offer sent some pictures in before the live stream, so I'll be sharing that with you guys so you can get some inspiration of what could be, regardless of what you happen to be dealing with in your lawn. We have the new product that's available now that was been unavailable for a while, so we'll talk about that in a little bit. But as always, just looking forward to finding out what you guys are struggling with, what your questions are, and we should have a grand time. All right, so first up, we have Aaron Pate in the live stream. He says, after cutting down and grinding the stump of a crepe myrtle, it's still sending out shoots. Is there any way to prevent this from continuing to happen? Yeah, that's a good question, Aaron. I'm not sure. What you're likely seeing are shoots that were already there prior to the tree being cut down and you grinding it. I would imagine that over time, as you get rid of the new shoots, that eventually this problem will go away. So if it was, you didn't say how long it's been since you cut the crepe myrtle down, but I would imagine with time, again, the shoots will become less and less and less. As far as a way to prevent them, that I'm not sure about. That's not an issue. That's not an issue that I've dealt with personally myself. But again, I think just time is going to be the order of the day as far as getting rid of them. Just kind of wait it out. Unless someone else in the live stream has some thoughts, they can feel free to chime in. Aaron has another question, and it's about St. Augustine. He says, my St. Augustine is putting out seed heads. Do you think this is because of the brown patch I mentioned a while back maybe not enough water or too much or something else entirely. Um, so seed heads on most on turf grass, Aaron, is typically a sign of stress, right? So um, it's been really hot. You didn't tell me where you are in the country. I'm guessing Florida or Texas because you said St. Augustine. But it's been a hot summer. We haven't had a whole lot of rain, so that if I had to, make a bet is or give you what my feelings are as far as what's causing the your lawn to throw seed heads, it would more than likely be that. Can disease cause it? I mean, sure. Really, any stressor can cause seed heads to appear, but really, it's typically you see them whenever a lawn transitions from cool temperatures to warmer. So, like from spring to summer, you tend to see seed heads in the lawn. Also, a lawn that perhaps was getting plenty of moisture, but then you started seeing drought conditions, kind of like what we're seeing now, where we're not having getting a lot of rain. Those are what usually lead to seed heads in the lawn. Case in point with my lawn, my Bermuda lawn. Um, Normally in the month of May, when it starts to get hotter here in Georgia, is when I get seed heads. It's in my case, like a 3-week problem typically. So it's not something that sticks around for a long period of time. And as long as the lawn is getting enough water, not too much, but enough water and enough nutrient, it's normally a temporary problem. So hope that helps. Sorry, I don't have a better answer for you. I doubt that it's disease that's causing the issue. More than likely, it's a lack of water and then also the hot temperatures we've been having here lately. So hope that is useful. All right, next up is Mr. Robert Rainey. He says, "Good evening. Day early caught me off guard." Yeah, I did tell you guys this. Like tomorrow, I have an event that I gotta commit, something I already committed to that I can't get out of. So I will not be here on the live stream tomorrow night. I mean, I'll still be in the area, but I won't be on the live stream. And then, so that's what we're doing it tonight. We're doing it tonight. Next week, we'll be back to our normal scheduled time on Friday nights, but it's only a few times a year. Normally, for things that are karate related is when I have to move it to a day early. So that's why we're having it tonight. So glad you're still here though, Robert. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Next up is Mr. Jackie Bear. He says, "Happy stream, everybody." What's going on, Jackie? Hopefully you're doing well, sir. And then New York Lawn Guy says, "Hey, Ron, what's going on, New York Lawn Guy? Hopefully you are doing well. I see you tuning in from the gram, so glad to see that part of the stream is working. And I appreciate you taking some time to come hang out with us." And then, so Filey24 has a comment. I think it's in relation to the crepe myrtles. He says, "Put Tordon RTU on it." Tordon RTU. I'm not sure what that is, Filey, but I guess we can look it up. What pray tell is Tordon? I guess it's some kind of herbicides specialty herbicide for what? For trees, I guess. Different woody species. Yeah, so it looks like it's a herbicide. I haven't looked at as far as like places where you're allowed to use it or not, but just from like a 5-second Google search, it looks like it's a herbicide that's designed for controlling trees. So thanks for that, Filey 24. Again, I think it's the first time I've ever seen you in the live stream, so appreciate you chiming in and educating all of us as far as ways to get rid of crepe myrtles. That's really cool. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate it. Next up is Watsonius. It's kind of a cool name. He says, "Hey, Ron, what's your opinion on best granular soil amendment product? I'm in New Jersey, perennial rye." So I haven't used all of them. Of the ones that I have used, which are really limited to Carbon Pro G and Essential G, I like Essential G more. So I'll show you the product that I'm talking about if you go to the Golf Course Lawn Store and then go to Shop and to Miramichi Green Biostimulants, you will find this, which is Essential G, which is an excellent biostimulant. It's what I use on my lawn. And it's easy to say why I like this one, but I'll tell you the reasoning behind it. So if you look at like say Carbon Pro G and a competing product that is similar to Carbon Pro G from the Andersons called Humachar, if you look at those products, Carbon Pro G is biochar, compost, and a microbial package. Essential G has compost, biochar, humate, silica. So it's got a bit of everything in it. Reclaimed coffee grounds. So as far as a granular biostimulant, as far as like just food for the soil, it is a newer version. So you can think of it almost like Carbon Pro G 2.0 in my opinion. So that's why I prefer that. all of them are great products. So if you decide to go with Humichar or Carbon Pro G or Essential G, any of them will get it done. It's just that this is my personal favorite. I switched to this one. Ooh, it's probably coming up on 3 years now, 2, 3 years now, and I've loved it. Every month my lawn gets this once a month, and love the results that I get from it. So that's my thoughts as far as granular biostimulants. And as far as this working on your perennial ryegrass, it'll work great. Any of them will, but this will work great on your perennial ryegrass. So no issue with that at all. If you're interested in checking it out, I will send you a link right here. Watsonius, very cool name by the way. I already said that, but I had to say it again because it is kind of cool. Where you can pick it up. So hope that helps. Or if you need anything else, do let me know. All right, New York Lawn Guy says, for cool season lawns, is doing a full reno, for cool season lawns, if doing a full reno, is it best to wait until mid-August or can the process begin earlier? So I'm guessing you're in New York. Whenever temperatures begin cooling off, so you wouldn't want to do a cool season lawn renovation if you're doing it by a seed anyway, in the middle of summer. Right? I mean, could you? Yes, but it's the ideal times would be the spring or the fall. If August rolls around and temperatures are not like how they are now, then yeah, you could absolutely get started on your renovation. Most people that do renovations on cool season lawns tend to do it in like what you're suggesting, mid-August and later. So that would be fine. Ideally, you want to get it in early enough that the lawn can establish and can get to the point where you're mowing it and it's healthy, so that whenever winter comes, the lawn is established long enough that you don't lose a lot of it to snow and just potential winter kill. So yeah, if August the temperatures are not, if it's not unseasonably hot, then I think that would be a great plan as far as going forward with your renovation New York Lawn Guy. One thing I'll tell you guys too, unless you're just because I've had some people that have emailed here lately that have had a lawn that say is covered up in weeds and have had some challenges with it. And the first thing in their mind is like, I'm just gonna do a renovation. I'm gonna burn it all down and start over. And I'm not saying that's you, New York Lawn Guy, but just your question is kind of triggered that thought to my mind. And even if you have a lawn that is struggling, like say you moved into a new place, which is what this person did, and the lawn has got tons of weeds in it everywhere, I still would always encourage you to, get a selective herbicide that is safe for the grass that you have, even if it's a little bit, and use that to clean up the weeds in the lawn. And then when you see what you're working with, you'd be surprised that once you get rid of the weeds and you start feeding that standard turf grass and you start mowing it, how it can really come back and fill in and become like the dominant species, right? That's a lot less work than starting all over, burning it all down, and doing a renovation project. Now, there are some cases where you would have to do that, like if the lawn's too far gone, sure, or you just simply don't like the kind of grass you have, like that's a great reason to do it. But, don't be so quick to think that, glyphosating everything and resodding or reseeding the entire lawn is always the fastest approach, because there's challenges with that too. Most people, or if you've been watching the live stream, we've had folks that have done seeding projects in the spring, say for example, people that try and grow Bermuda grass from seed. And what you tend to find is it doesn't all grow in evenly. You'll find some areas that are doing great, living their best life, and it grows in nicely. And you have other areas that are struggling. You may have to go back and reseed a couple of times to get them to really fill in and catch up. So there's really no free lunch. So I'd say in most cases, people are better off, loving the girl you're with versus trying to move on to something new, like to make sure that you can get the most out of the lawn that you currently have. Assuming you like that grass, you're better off trying to save that and just nurture it, mow it, feed it, and it becoming the dominant turf grass versus renovation being your first answer in all cases. So again, I know it's not you, New York Lawn Guy, but just something to consider. Because another thing too, you have to think about as well too, and I'm not sure the reasoning behind of why you're doing it, is if you decide, say in the fall, that you're going to do an overseed, then really, pre-emergent really comes as taken off the table. So you have to ask yourself, is the lawn, does it really need to be reseeded? Or, can I just, work on feeding and mowing and building up what I currently have to where I can use pre-emergent in the fall? So you have to kind of pick which one is better for you, because what you're decision you're making is if you decide to do a seeding project, then you really can't use pre-emergent. And that means that you are going to have more weed pressure in the fall and also in the spring. So there's no free lunch which is why, unless there's a really good reason for it, I'm not a huge fan of like that being the first thing that you go to. So hope that helps. August is a good time. Sorry to go off on a segue, but it got me thinking about an email that I got here this week, and I figured I'd just share my thoughts with everybody else. So hope that helps. And if you need anything else, definitely let me know. All right. Next up, make sure I get this first. Next up, we have Dalen Krause is in the house. He says, "Happy Thursday, Ron." I appreciate it, Dalen. Yeah, I know. I threw you guys for a curve by doing it tonight, but it's either do it tonight or not do it at all. I know how y'all are. You guys come after me with pitchforks and knives and be like, what, man? You're supposed to be consistent. So I am being consistent. It'll probably be a shorter night because we're not going to have as many people, but we'll hang out here as long as you guys are here. All right. So he says, "Did you get your rain?" I did. I did get some rain. The lawn is coming back from that, so it did enjoy it. But we still have the 10-day forecast. There's not a whole lot of rain in the forecast. If I look here over the next 10 days, maybe next week Friday we'll get more rain. So it's still going to be a hot and dry time of year. So that's okay. That's why we have Bermuda grass, right? It can tolerate it. Next up is Andre Taylor. He says, "Evening, Ron and all. Happy Thursday. I did a mow yesterday and now about to put out some 22-3 while tuning in. I like it, Andre. Good job. Make sure you follow the label rates. 6 ounces per 1,000 is what I'd recommend. That's all you really need. It'll produce a great result." Speaking of lawns that have been using the 22-3 liquid fertilizer, and you guys want to see some results, you see a lawn that actually looks nice, because I know a lot of us here in the Southeast, our lawns are struggling, not looking great. And if you want to see a gorgeous lawn, here's the thing, even for cool season grass, I gotta admit, this looks really good. Looks really good, man. So I'll show you guys here. This is from Simple Cash Offer. I'm not sure if he's in the live stream tonight, but he sent me these pictures. So that's picture one. You can see how he is comparing to the neighbor. I mean, not terrible bad. He's definitely setting the standard, but I mean, the neighbor's not horrible, but he's definitely a lot better. Got some other pictures coming in here soon, if I can get them to load. Let's see. All right. So next, he's got his shot from the street, did a diagonal mow, and I really like that. And I always appreciate it when folks do the diagonal cut versus the straight on from the house. Then next up, we got another one, close up. Again, setting the standard. What's kind of cool is if you look at the lawn to the right of him. So if in this picture, look to the right, you can see where the domination line is. Like right where that, I guess that utility box is, like that cable box, the little post that's in his yard. You can tell that's where he's not spraying, and the lawn to the right of him is not looking as good. So I'll just say that. And then next up, we have this shot of the back lawn, looking absolutely gorgeous, looking good, man. Great work. And then finally, another picture, really nice. So especially given the time of year, having that kind of color is pretty awesome. So great work. I'm glad to see that folks are starting to use the new liquid fertilizer, the new 22-3, and are getting great results with it and sharing that. So if you guys are using the fertilizer, you want to send me pictures and show me your results, definitely do that. I'll share your lawn. You can be internet famous for whatever that's worth. So thanks again, and Andre, send me pictures of your lawn once you get some results from it. All right, and next up is Filey24 says, "You're welcome." I appreciate it, man. There you go. Thanks so much for chiming in on me and letting me giving us another herbicide that we know about when it comes to cleaning up trees or crepe myrtles. Appreciate that. And then next up is DMart416. DMart416. All right. He says, "Hey, Ron, I ordered recognition from your site after learning it's back in stock, planning to apply this Friday. So should I supplement the application with iron to offset the growth stunting?" I mean, here's what I would do, DMart. I would fertilize your lawn on the normal cycle. I wouldn't do anything special given the fact that you're using recognition. It's as long as you're sticking to the label rates, you will see a temporary slowdown in your existing lawn, but then it will be, it'll grow through it and be just fine. Folks that have been using the product, I've been getting a lot of great feedback as far as it taking out Bermuda and leaving the zoysia or St. Augustine, largely unharmed. Again, it slows down for a little bit, but then those grasses grow through and do just fine. So if it's your time to fertilize the lawn, then yes, but I wouldn't do anything special out of cycle other than what you would normally do. So hope that's useful. Glad that you that the herbicides that it made it to you safe and sound. If you need anything else, definitely let me know. So for any of you guys that don't know what DMART is talking about, there's a new herbicide. What is this recognition thing he's talking about? Yeah, so a common problem, like there's a couple of problems in lawn care that are tough to solve, right? And one that was really difficult was if you got Bermuda grass in a zoysia lawn or a Bermuda grass in a St. Augustine lawn, or just Recognition also does kikuyu grass, but I have not yet to come across anybody that actually has that, or that watches the live stream anyway. So if you have zoysia or St. Augustine and you got Bermuda growing in it, there wasn't really an easy way to get rid of it. You know, in the past, you could use Fusilade 2 by itself on zoysia, but it at the rates you really needed to use Fusilade, you'd cause some injury to the zoysia in a lot of cases. So a product that we've been waiting for was released like last year, but we've been waiting literally months, probably greater than 6 months to be able to get our hands on this and make it available to you guys, is a herbicide called Recognition. So Recognition has a safener in it. The safener is metcamifin. I think that's correct. So you take Recognition, you combine this with Fusilade. So it's a two herbicide combination. You can't, this by itself will not get rid of Bermuda grass, and then Fusilade by itself will not do it. So you mix Recognition and Fusilade 2, and that combination safens, the metcamifin and Recognition safens Fusilade to where you can spray it on zoysia and spray it on St. Augustine, and it's a way to selectively remove Bermuda out of those turf grasses, which is pretty awesome. We got a limited shipment. We got some in stock, and you know, if you want some, again, we don't have a ton of it. But what I'm being told is that it shouldn't be too hard for us to get going forward. But I mean, again, we have a limited amount. So what I'm referring to is this, which is we have it in two versions. We have Recognition just by itself, assuming you already have Fusilade, or to make it more convenient for you, we have a kit that has, let me get this to load, that has Fusilade 2, Recognition, surfactant, and then a marker dye. So everything you need to get a great result. And as far as showing like what you can expect, so if you look at this, this is a Golf Course Lawn Academy member that got some of this last year that was doing some testing with it. So if I can get to the, yeah, so this is a lawn that you look at that, you'd say, man, that looks really good. Looks pretty good already, right, as far as the color. But that is a lawn that is a combination of Bermuda and zoysia. There's Bermuda all throughout that lawn that they wanted to get rid of. So they sprayed it with the combination zoysia, sorry, with Recognition and Fusilade. So you can see all the befores. And now, after Recognition and Fusilade, this is the after. So you can see how much of that lawn, that grass, was Bermuda and not really zoysia. And they wanted zoysia. They wanted zoysia throughout their lawn. But you can see the Bermuda is dead, not, you know, really hating life, and the zoysia for the most part is unscathed. It looks really good. Move on to another part. You can see this is all zoysia in here, and then this is a big patch of Bermuda that was removed, and the same thing. Zoysia looks good. Bermuda is killed off. So the nice thing about this is that it allows you to get rid of Bermuda and give zoysia or St. Augustine the chance to become the dominant stand of turf grass within the lawn. As far as recommendations on how to use it, Syngenta recommends that you do one application, and then 4 to 6 weeks later, depending on how bad it is in your lawn, you do another app, and that really should put you in a pretty good spot. And the measurement for this is really easy. As far as, I don't have a bottle of Fusilade here to show you, but I can actually show you really quick. I can go back here and show you. Fusilade has a built-in measuring cup, and Recognition also comes with a measuring spoon. So if you look here, this is Fusilade 2. The bottle has one in it. And as far as the rate, it varies, but you can go out at right at half an ounce, 0.55 ounces, fluid ounces of Recognition, mixed with 0.03 ounces of, 0.55 ounces of Fusilade 2, mixed with 0.303 ounces of Recognition. And you're gonna say, well, how do I measure that out? With Fusilade, it's pretty easy. You got a measuring cup just above that half ounce mark, and you're good to go. And then for Recognition, there's a measuring cup or measuring spoon that's included. There's two sides to it. There's kind of like Certainty, right? There's a big side and a small side. The small side we're not going to use. The big side we're not going to use. The small side is conveniently labeled 0.03. So it would be one small scoop of Recognition combined with 0.55 fluid ounces of Fusilade in 1 gallon of water, and that covers 1,000 square feet. Add a bit of surfactant, a bit of dye, and you're off to the races. Just wait. And it's not just a one-trick pony. You know, Recognition controls sedges, controls a whole bunch of other bunch of other weeds as well too. So it's not like it's quite an investment. Not like you're spending this much just to get control of Bermuda grass. I think I've got a list of all the weeds that recognition controls, or at least some of them, and it lists all of them in here. But you've got, yeah, sedges, clover, chickweed, dichondra, the various kalingas, poa annua. So it does a bit of everything. Which, so again, it's not like you're only cleaning up Bermuda grass. It's a great herbicide for cleaning up other weeds that are in your lawn as well while you're spraying the lawn and cleaning up Bermuda. So really happy that we finally have it. Glad that you got yours, DMart. Again, if you are interested in getting some, I would not wait, because while it's supposed to be a little bit more available now, it's still tough to come by. So if you're so interested, it is available right there on the Golf Course Lawn Store. I'll put a link in the chat for you guys. If you need anything else, definitely let me know. So yeah, very cool to see the results you guys get with it. I already know it works well, because I've been getting feedback from folks that have it. But it's always cool to get more feedback from anyone that's new, that's finally getting their hands on the product. Okay, next up we have Sandblaster. Okay, you take care of metal. Is that what you do? You do sandblasting? He says, I have Tiff-Tuff Bermuda that needs leveling and aeration. In what order should I take on this monumental task? All right, so if you need leveling and it needs to be aerated, I would do them in the order opposite of what you just stated. So you would want to aerate first and then level afterwards. Here's the reason why. By aerating first, you are creating voids. You're opening up voids all throughout the soil in the lawn, which is going to allow whatever leveling material you use to integrate better with the existing soil profile. If you're planning to fertilize or use a granular biostimulant like Essential G prior to doing the leveling, right after aeration is a great time to do that. So the sequence of events that I would do as far as getting ready to do a leveling project: do a fresh mow, then aerate, then apply granular fertilizer like Humic Max and a granular biostimulant like Essential G. Then after that, you top dress, work the material in, and then water and wait. That's it. That's the entire process. So hope that helps, Sandblaster. It's still a great time of year to do it. The lawn's going to grow through it pretty quickly, given the temperatures that we're seeing this time of year. And like I said, thing I would say is aerate first and top dress or lawn level afterwards. It doesn't have to be on the same day, so it's quite a bit of work to aerate a lawn, especially if you have a larger lawn. So you could do the aeration the day before, and then the following day you could level. So for example, let's say you're planning to do it this weekend. You could do your aeration, say Friday afternoon. Get off work Friday afternoon, get your aeration done. You're not going to be watching the live stream because there's no live stream tomorrow night, so it's a perfect time to do it, right? So do your aeration Friday, and then Saturday, along with you and a buddy, hopefully you have some friends, some help, you get your lawn leveling work done. So that's the order that I would go about it. Hopefully that is useful for you. Useful to break it up into more than one day, because aeration is more work than most people realize, and leveling is definitely more work than most people realize. But you can absolutely pull that off. All right, next up is Dalen. First of all, Sonia says, perfect, thank you. And the next up is Dalen Krause. This is a question. He says, can you explain what the Primo and a new does extra for your lawn than just using Primo alone? It's a great question, Dalen. So as far as a Bermuda lawn where you have a lawn that's largely hybrid, but you also have some common in it, like my lawn, right? If you look at the rate for Primo Max, so the rate for Primo for common Bermuda is 3 times higher than what the rate is for hybrid. Whereas with a new, that is not the case. Like a new regulates, best way of saying it is a new regulates more evenly, whereas Primo tends to last quite a bit longer. So if you have common Bermuda within your hybrid Bermuda lawn, by adding a new to the tank along with Primo, you're able to match the growth rates of both the hybrid and the common without overdoing it. Because say you had Primo only, right? So you didn't use a new. If you apply Primo at the rate that is correct for hybrid, then what you're going to find, especially this time of year as hot as it is the common is still going to outrun it. You're going to be able to see, it's going to stick out a lot more as far as where there's common Bermuda within your lawn, because it's just going to be growing so much faster. By using a new and primo together, you mask that because they all slow down. They grow in fairly evenly. Normally at some point throughout the year, I get a comment from someone saying, "Oh, I can see there's common in your lawn. Or I can see that where there's different grass types," and I haven't really gotten that this season. And just regardless of comments, just from my eye, the lawn looks a lot better. It's just more even. The color is better, and the big thing is the common Bermuda is under control. So especially if you have a hybrid Bermuda lawn with some common in it, that is where that combination really shines. Even if you don't have it, it's still great because a new and primo work great together. If you look at New Farm's website, they have some documentation on using this combination. So it's not like I was really breaking new ground here. I was looking at the growth regulator. I was reading the documentation on their site. And I spoke to one of their reps about it. And they said, yeah, a lot of greens, especially around the collars where the Bermuda can suffer or can be stressed. By adding a little bit of a new in there, you're able to spray at lower rates and still get really good regulation. So I said, all right, I'll test it out. I tried it out and absolutely love the results. So that's why I do that combination. It works great. And just going forward, that's what I'm going to be doing. So hope that helps, Dylan. Hope that helps make sense. I have a video that goes through this in a bit more detail that explains the why behind it, but it's just another mode of action for controlling or for suppressing growth. The net results are more even suppression, better, deeper color, and overall just really, really, really do like it. So something that I'm going to continue doing going forward. This is the video that I did maybe a month or so ago at this point, that talks about the why behind it, kind of like what I explained, but more concise, and along with rates and all this kind of stuff. So, and as far as how I'm doing it, I am spraying them at the lower ends of the application rates every 2 weeks. So with Primo, you guys know the rate for hybrid Bermuda is between 0.25 up to just under 0.40 fluid ounces per thousand. And then the rate for a new is pretty broad. I think it's like 0.4 up to like 1.2. So pretty broad range. So you can, I spray both of those mixed together at the lower end of the application rate, and the lawn tolerates it just fine. There's no issues whatsoever. And this video kind of walks through the rates that I use on my lawn. So hope that's useful for you. Need anything else, let me know. Give it a try. It's absolutely worth it. Again, even if your lawn doesn't have different types of grass in it, the color response that you see as far as how evenly the lawn just stays is noticeable. So if you think Primo shuts a lawn down, you mix Primo and a new, and like the brakes get pulled up really hard. Okay, next up is Filey 24. He's back. He says, ever used any Earthworks products? Big fan of Myco 333 or a product called Renovate. I have not. I've never used any of their products. Never using their products, so I cannot speak to them. All right, next up we have Our Fragrance Journey. Oh, see, you've done, oh no, he's in there. He says, oh man, go dogs. I've missed the last few weeks getting ready for military training. Well, that's a good reason. Our Fragrance Journey, it's a good reason to get out there. We need more men and women getting out there defending this great country of ours. So it's a good reason to miss the live stream. I completely support that. He says, I'll be away from my lawn for the next couple of months. That's pretty sad. I hear you, but hopefully someone will mow for you or do something to take care of it while you're gone, because it's for a great reason. And yeah, you know what? Given that, I'll even say that. He says, oh man, roll tide. I'll even give you that because you're going off to serve our country. So that is definitely worth acknowledging. So thank you so much for that. Thank you for your service. And the lawn will be here when you get back. Hopefully someone will mow it for you while you're gone, but it'll be just fine. Grass is pretty resilient. It'll be fine once you get back from training and everything else. So again, thank you for your service. J Willie 617. Okay, nothing. And then next up is Michael Kimmel. I think I know this person. He says, hey, Ron, I recently purchased the golf course lawn carbon kit. When is the best time to apply it? Thanks, Tung Su. So the best time is at least once a month. I spray every 2 weeks. So on the website, whenever you buy the carbon kit, the guidance will say, you can apply it once per month. The rate that we recommend is, 2 to 3 ounces per 1,000 square feet. Michael, the way I use the carbon kit is in part of my spoon feeding program. So the first of the month, or really every 2 weeks, the first of the 15th of the month, I'm spraying Primo Max and New. So I'm spraying my growth regulators along with my liquid fertilizers to include the golf course lawn carbon kit. So every 2 weeks is when I am doing that. Because the rates that we're spraying them at are so low, you can spray them throughout the entire season. So I start earlier, like in spring, once the lawn begins greening up, and I spray every couple of weeks until we get into October timeframe. And I have a video, a short that actually talks about like rates and everything. So if you're probably asking yourself, that sounds like a lot of fun. How do I, what rate should I use if I'm using the carbon kit, using growth regulator and all this jazz? So I have got you covered. Let me see if I can find it here really quickly. Maybe I can, and then I'll get this over to you. The problem, guys, is that I do shorts every single day, so the stuff quickly gets buried. Okay, yes, here we go. So this short, so if you got 60 seconds, you can get your answer. I'm going to give you 2 different combinations, like if you're using the new 22-3 fertilizer and the micronutrient by themselves, how to do it. If you're doing it along with the carbon kit, how to do that, like rates all laid out, all within a minute. So get your notepad ready. So this is the video that covers application rates. So I'll say spoon feeding application rates. And yeah, again, I do it every couple of weeks because I'm going to be out there spraying the lawn anyway. So it's a convenient time to get my biostimulants out along with my growth regulator. So hope that helps, sir. Appreciate you chiming in. Tang Su. And safe travels, wherever you guys are heading out, I think tomorrow at some point. All right, next up is Michael Thomason. Michael Thomason is up. He says, hello, Ron. Common Bermuda here in Oklahoma, down to 1 inch with a manual reel mower. I like it. Dedication. It does not look like a golf course yet. What am I doing wrong? So if you have a couple of things, Michael, if you just got it down to 1 inch, so say it was like, I don't know, 1.5 inches or 2 inches, and you slowly worked your way down to 1 inch, if it's just now getting at 1 inch, thing one is that you want to keep mowing it there so the lawn adjusts to it. And then what's going to happen if you're mowing Bermuda at 1 inch is it's going to encourage it, instead of growing up, to start growing more laterally. So you'll start, stimulating stolen or runner growth, and it's going to begin thickening up. Another thing is you are using a manual reel mower. The lawn can look great with a manual reel mower at 1 inch. I'm not saying that you can't, but there is another order of magnitude, another order of awesome that you get when you move from a manual reel mower to a power reel mower. So what I would do is this: if you just got the lawn down to 1 inch, continue mowing it there. Definitely continue mowing it there. Assuming your equipment is sharp, continue mowing it there, and it's going to get better and better. It's going to thicken up more and more the longer you do that. If you say you want an even cleaner or even more even cut, that is when going to a powered reel mower is really going to make a big difference, because the reel is just turning so much faster. Your clip rate is so much higher that the cut is just going to be better. The cut's going to be better, and also you couple that with the weight of the mower, you're going to be able to get better stripes in the lawn. So what I tend to tell folks is when you go from a rotary to a manual reel mower, like that is one jump up as far as like the cut quality and just the visual appearance of the lawn. And then when you go from manual reel mower to powered reel mower, it is just as big a jump, maybe even more so than just going from like powered rotary to a manual reel. It's a game changer. It's a night and day difference in the appearance of the lawn. If you want to see, if you go back and look at some of my content, so go to the YouTube channel and go like sort by videos, like going back in time, like older, and you'll see my lawn when I used to mow with a manual push mower, and it looks good, but it doesn't look anything like how it looks now. So you can, if you want to see how the same lawn, manual reel mower versus a powered reel mower, the kind of difference that can make, you can see it on my lawn. So that would be the next thing I'd say. I would say this, continue mowing it at 1 inch for a lot of the time this season. And if you get to the end of the season, you're like, it's still not looking as nice as I want. It's not, it's not really that tight look that I'm really looking for. Then I would say, look into investing in a powered reel mower so you can start out next year. I mean, you can still do it this year too if you want. I mean, if this conversation was enough to convince you, go out and get an order in and get a powered reel mower. But if you want to give the manual a bit more time just to see how good you can possibly get it with just a manual reel mower, continue cutting it. And then, if it's still not good enough for you, then next year you can move into a powered. So hope that helps. I'm the only thing I've discussed here is just mowing. I'm assuming you're feeding the lawn well, like you're fertilizing, you got a good nutrient program. That will make a difference, obviously. But mowing is huge. Mowing is huge, and mowing with the right equipment is huge. So, hope that's useful. If you need anything else, let me know. And congrats, getting your lawn down to an inch is pretty cool, and it's going to get even better once you eventually the day comes when you move or transition to a powered reel mower. So hope that helps. And then our fragrance journey says, Michael, you have to mow lower. That's another thing too. An inch is good. Going from an inch to 3/4 of an inch does make another visual difference in the lawn as well too. But I'd say more so than going from an inch to 3/4 of an inch with a manual reel mower. Going from an inch, even if you say the same height, say 1 inch, right? But you went to a powered reel mower, the lawn's not even gonna look the same, not even remotely the same. So given the choice, I would say look into a powered manual reel mower. The Revolution from Reel Rollers is a great choice in my opinion. Like for what you pay and what you get, it's great value for money. There's other options out there as well too, but for what you get, it's a great mower. It's funny. I was mowing today, getting ready, and what's interesting is I use the Greensmaster mainly on the front lawn. Like I mow with that more than any other mower on the front lawn, even though the Revolution will do it. And yeah, I'm used to it. So I'm used to pushing up the lawn and going down and just running the mower. And I use the Revolution for, I gotta show you guys sometime on video, but there's an area between my lawn and my neighbor's lawn. It's like, there's like a flat area on top of the swale that I don't put the greens mower on because it's about this wide and you really wanna be able to control the mower going down. It could get away from you pretty easily. And what's interesting is whenever I mow just that section, it's a night and day difference of how much easier, how much better the Revolution climbs my front lawn than the Greensmaster does. The Greensmaster, in my opinion, cuts a bit better, but as far as like a do-it-all mower that's just easier to live with, man, it's a noticeable difference. And it's not until you go back and forth between them that you really see it. So that's a feather in the cap in my opinion for the Revolution. Again, there's other good options out there too, but those are two mowers that I have direct experience with. And again, you're not going to be unhappy with the that new Revolution mower that Reel Rollers put out. It's a great mower. It's got everything you need to get a great result in your lawn. All right. So next up is Larry, LRXCD. We'll just call him Larry because it's easier. He says, "Hey Ron, I made it here from the starving fescue corner, 112 right now." Not working on the control system till the morning. Yeah. So what happened? If I can relate this story properly, Larry, and I think I have pictures of it. I think his irrigation system was damaged. Like there was like a water pressure problem, and it caused issues with his system. And then now he's pulling out all the sprinklers and all the different components of it. And he sent me one picture of he said this came out of a sprinkler, but I'm not sure what kind of irrigation head he has because I've not seen that in my sprinklers when I've replaced them. But at any rate, this came out with one of his irrigation heads, I believe, and you can see all the trash that's in there. So he had a crack in the line that was allowing dirt, debris, all kinds of other garbage to get into the system, which is why his fescue lawn was not getting water. And you combine no water and 112-degree temperatures and a cool season lawn like fescue, and it's bad news. So I'm glad you got to the bottom of it and that you're going to go through and fix the system and get yourself going, Larry, and the lawn will bounce back. It's grass. It's pretty resilient. Next up is Ryan Contento. He says, "Hey Ron, good evening." What's going on, Ryan? Hopefully you're doing all right. And then next is Matt the Mailman. He says, "Evening, Ron. Say what pre-emergent do you recommend to use for my cool season lawn to prevent already established POA or any POA for that matter from returning next year?" Okay, so here's a challenge, Matt, is with a cool season lawn, the best pre-emergent for POA annua you can't use on cool season turf grass. What I would say is a split application of prodiamine is gonna do pretty well. Like if you look at, there's been university studies as far as which pre-emergents work best against for controlling POA annua, and spectacle flow is among the top, right? The problem is that it's only for warm season turf grass. And if you use prodiamine, you are going to see a big reduction in the amount of POA annua you're going to be dealing with this fall and also like next year. But it's not perfect, meaning you're still going to have some breakthrough. It's not going to be quite as good as something like spectacle. So for the already established POA, your options are, you can tell what kind of grass you have. It's cool season. Okay. For your options are for already established POA annua are to use a herbicide, a post-emergent herbicide called Velocity PM. Again, this stuff is not inexpensive, but the people that have been using it have been getting feedback from them, and they've been getting great results. So as far as a way to selectively remove POA annua in your cool season lawn, assuming you've got ryegrass primarily, fescue primarily, or bentgrass or creeping bentgrass, then this would be your jam. If you have Kentucky bluegrass, or a lot of your lawn is Kentucky bluegrass, you're rolling the dice a bit, because there are some cultivars that tolerate this okay, and there's some that don't. So really, if you have a fescue lawn, ryegrass lawn, you're good to go. If you have a KBG lawn, then it's kind of a crapshoot as far as like how well your lawn will tolerate velocity. So this is what you could use to get rid of existing POA annua within your lawn, and then you can use prodiamine, like I do in a couple of apps of it, to help suppress or help prevent new breakthrough, this fall and also into the early spring next year. That's the approach I would take. It's not gonna be perfect the first time, but you'll find is if you continue doing this, you'll see a reduction over time. So hope that helps. Starting to have a better answer for you as far as like a one and done. If you're interested in velocity, I will send you a link here to where you can pick it up, Matt the mailman. But yeah, it's POA annua and POA trivialis, which this controls both of them. Both POA annua and POA trivialis in cool season turf grass is a tough one, but velocity will do it. And then you can kind of what we do with warm season grass, right? So say someone came to me and they said, "Hey, I got POA in my Bermuda lawn. Like, how can I get rid of it? And then also, reduce the chances of me having to deal with it more next year." I would use a post-emergent herbicide, in this case, Certainty. So this is what you use for a warm season lawn, right? And then to help prevent it this fall and into next year, you would use a pre-emergent like Spectacle Flow. And I don't think I have a bottle here. I think I've got it in the garage. I don't see. Well, yeah, I do. Right here. From a bottle of Spectacle. So you'd use this, right? So this combination, post-emergent control for POA annua, pre-emergent control for POA annua, between these two, does a great job of really keeping POA under control in warm season turf grass. But for you, it would be velocity, and then like a split application of prodiamine is what I would do. Reason being is that prodiamine by itself lasts for 3 to 4 months, depending on conditions. And that's not quite enough to get you through the fall and also into the spring when your lawn really wakes up and when POA begins to take off. So by doing a split app, you are, like, say, in August timeframe, assuming you're not overseeding, that's going to do a lot for controlling. And then before you get your frost, like before it starts to snow, depending on where you are, I'm not sure where you are in the country, but before you start getting frost and temperatures get really cold, you do another application of prodiamine, and that's going to cover you through the winter into the late winter, early springtime, and that's going to do a lot for helping reduce the amount of POA annua in your lawn. What that'll mean is in the spring, because you'll have used prodiamine split apps in the fall, you may have to rotate to something like dithiopyr dimension for your spring pre-emergent application, if that makes sense. So that's just something to consider if you decide to go the split app route with prodiamine in the fall to try and keep POA under control. So hope that helps, Matt. That's all I got for you. And you got a strategy going forward. Hopefully that is useful. All right, next up is New York Lawn Guy. He says, let's have some fun. It's just, you can only use 4 products for your lawn for a season. Which are you using? 4 products, all season? I mean, does that mean 4 in total, or 4 growth related products? So like between biostimulants and fertilizer, or are you talking about okay, well, I'll put it this way. Let's say you're talking about everything. I would use pre-emergent. I would have to have pre-emergent. And here's the thing. I'm going to use prodiamine or dimension in the spring and Spectacle in the fall. That's only going to count for one, because it's like one category, pre-emergent. I'm gonna take liberties here. So I'd still use pre-emergent. I would use a granular biostimulant like Essential G. I got 2 more. I hate this question. I gotta have a growth regulator. I gotta have a growth regulator. I gotta have that. So Primo, and then I guess like Humic Max. I guess a granular fertilizer. I mean, this conversation really pains me, New York lawn guy, but I think that's what it's going to be. So my Primo, my growth regulator, a granular fertilizer, like Humic Max, and a granular biostimulant, Essential G, and then a pre-emergent. So that would be my 4. Again, but thankfully, I don't have to only settle for the 4. But if I only had to have 4, I think I'm trying to think about it. That is more than likely what I would do. Again, it would pain my heart because I really like my liquids as far as spraying those every couple of weeks along with my growth regulator. But I love growth. Yeah, I can't be without Primo. I just can't. So yeah, hopefully that helps. Horrible question, by the way. Probably the worst question I've had this week. Like this, you want the worst question of the week? This is it. Most painful question of the week? This is the one. So congratulations. We'll clap it up for you. We'll even give it to you. Worst question of the week. Most painful question. But thankfully, I don't only have to use 4 products. But if I had to, pre-emergent, a granular biostimulant, fertilizer, and growth regulator. That would be, yeah, that would be it. That'd be pretty terrible. All right, next up is Tutrilla. He says, "Hey Ron, happy Thursday, and everyone." Or thanks so much, Tutrilla. Hopefully you're doing all right. And then, we have a couple of super chats. Let me get in here and get those really quick. I don't want to get in trouble. First up is Tank Texas. Let's get this done.
Super chat received.
He's just dropping to say, "Hi, sir. Loving Primo Max here in Texas. Works amazing. Doesn't it, though?" See, case in point. Now, I didn't even wait. I didn't see super chat. But look at that. Look how that lined up. I use Primo as one of my coupons, one of my punch cards. And Tank is like, you know what, Primo, it is the truth. Here in Texas, love the stuff. So I feel like, validated in my decision to use one of my 4 product coupons on a growth regulator. So thank you so much, Tank. We have another super chat, Theodore Nobles.
Super chat received.
He says, "What's good, Ron? I just did a midsummer scalp for a high to cut reset. Should I use Celsius and Certainty for pre-existing nut sedge that wasn't in the lawn, or fertilize the lawn first and then apply weed control days later?" Okay. So if all you care about is nut sedge, I would not use Celsius. I would only use Certainty. Certainty by itself is really all you need as far as controlling nut sedge in Washington turf grass. So really, if all you're looking at controlling is sedges, then save your money, save the Celsius because they're not inexpensive products, and just use Certainty and combine that with surfactant. This combination will do a great job cleaning up the sedges within your lawn. Your next part of your question is, should you fertilize the lawn and then apply weed control days later? It doesn't really matter. You could do them on the same day if you want. So if you're going to do a granular fertilizer, you could go out tomorrow, put your granular fertilizer out in the morning, and then once you're done with that, you could go out and spot spray wherever you needed to with Certainty and surfactant. That would be just fine. So yeah, there's no real need to wait. I guess is what I'm trying to say. The thing, if you decide to do that, let's say tomorrow you were going to do that, you're going to put out a granular fertilizer and then also go spray the sedges, is I would wait until the following day until you run your irrigation to water the fertilizer in, because the idea is you want to spray the weed you're trying to control, allow ample time for the herbicide to dry on the leaf of the plant, and 4 to 5 hours is plenty of time for that. And then the following day you can water your fertilizer in and you're good to go. So hope that helps, sir. Great question. Tank Texas did give me a super chat, and it took me a while to get to him. So we're going to do this. We're going to make both Tank and Theodore our show sponsor. So there we go, Tank Texas and Theodore. Every time I hear the word name Theodore, I always think about the Chipmunks. Alvin the Chipmunks. Theodore was one of them. Probably dating myself. All right, so here you go. Your name in lights, Tank Texas and Theodore Nobles, for whatever that means to you. Appreciate the questions and the super chat. Thanks for all the love and support. All right, and we will let that ride for a while, and get another super chat that's higher, then you guys get displaced. But at least both you guys will get to have the spotlight for a little while. All right, next up we have Corey. Corey Long says, "Sent you an email with a few pictures of my backyard a few weeks ago, June 15th. Do you mind going over what I can do to fix that area?" Man, June 15th, for me, that's like an eternity, man. Here's the thing, guys. If you guys want to send me pictures, it's way, way, way easier if you send them like the afternoon, like say today's Thursday. So you'd send them like after lunch, the day of the live stream, because that's when I go through email. I'll put together pictures for the live stream, so I can find you. Actually, I found you, Corey. Here we go. And I unfortunately these are all these are all HEICs, so I had to convert them. Give me a second here. I'll work on this and see if I can get them on the live stream. Give me 1 second while I answer another question. But another thing, if you're going to send me pictures as well too, if you can, send them as JPEGs because it makes it easier for me. I don't have to go through and convert them all, because the software I use, you can't use you can't post pictures in that format. They need to be JPEGs. But fortunately, Macs make quick work of that. All right, so and we're gonna make these smaller because these are all way too big. All right, there we go. All right, so we'll get to the next question while that's happening, Corey. I will get your pictures up here to show. Next up is Grown Man Grass. It says, have you posted any new videos with a new? Yeah, I mean, all the pictures, all the videos you've been seeing with my lawn, anything after like mid-April has been a new. Everything. So if you want to see what it looks like, I can send you some. I mean, if you look at any of my videos that you see that have the lawn in it, post mid-April, there is a new and primo. That's the combination. So you've been seeing the lawn the entire time with that combo. Let me see if I can find one really quickly for you. Yeah, this will be a good one right here. This was June 11th, which is well into the season, well into when I was using those two. And let me see if I can get this up. I might even be able to show you the video on the live stream. Maybe, if this will cooperate. Yeah, so this is the lawn with a new and primo. This is from June. I think June 11th is whenever I did this video. What you're seeing here, I'm not sure if the audio is coming through for you guys, but that is the height of cut. You can see how nice and green the color is, and those are the results. There's the results, and I bet you guys can't. If you can look at the video, if you look really closely, I'll actually show you where the comment is. Like right now, in front of you, there's some common, and then over here on the left of the patio, there's also some common Bermuda. I see it all the time when I look at the lawn because I know where it is. But for those of you guys that don't look at the lawn all the time, you'd have a hard time seeing it. So I'll send that video to you here, Grown Man Grass, assuming you can get this. I know you're on Instagram, but this is the video of primo and a new EZ results. So there you go. So that link there, that short is my lawn from last month, around this time, actually a month to the day, a month ago, and that's a new and primo. So I hope that helps. Hope that does it for you. If you need anything else, let me know. Great product, highly recommend it. All right, a great combination, highly recommend it. All right, next up we have Devin. Devin's in the house. He says, "Hey Ron, looking forward to some good turf, some good Thursday night turf talk. I'll do my best, Devin. I can't always promise. When you're on here, we can definitely guarantee some good turf talk. We'll make do what we got. That's all I can promise, all I can say." Okay, next up we have Oliver Rittam is in the house. He says, "Happy Thursday, Ron. I'm on a 7-day challenge where I mow every day for 7 days. Currently on day 6 as we speak. Neighbors giving weird looks, but who cares? Hashtag dominate. Smash that like button." That's a good point, guys. We have, how many folks do we have in the live stream right now? We have 58 people in the live stream, 42 likes. Surely we can do better on that on the likes. If you guys wouldn't mind, hit that like button. I know it's a slow night tonight, but really would appreciate all the love and support. It helps me sleep better. So hit that like button if you've not done so. So a 7-day challenge, Oliver. Now, question for you. You didn't say this, but how is the lawn looking mowing it every day for 7 days straight? I imagine pretty good. So, let us keep us posted. I guess maybe not tonight, but for next week on a Friday if you want. Take some pictures of it when you get to the end of it, with tomorrow being day 7, and send them in. And then next week Friday's show, we'll show everybody what your lawn looks like after mowing for 7 days. All right, so next up, let's look at Corey's pictures. See if I can get these up now. So these are Corey's pictures of his lawn that's struggling, and see if these will load. Oh man. So this is why I say send before, so I can format earlier. Okay, so you got an area there that looks really dry, not much grass that's bare. And then another area. Okay. And then I'm not sure. Let me get rid of this guy. I guess the same picture in landscape, and then another one here. So Corey, a couple of things. Actually, this picture is a really useful one. So a couple things. The lawn looks pretty good out further away from the house. I have a friend that has a. You guys have actually seen it. If you guys saw a top dressing video that I did a couple years ago when I said I was at Brett's house, he has a similar problem to where, with the way the sun passes over his house, like there's an area right in front of the house that's shaded, that doesn't get a lot of sunlight. And if you go 6 to 8 feet away from the patio, the grass looks really good. A lot like how yours looks. Now, assuming you didn't do anything to this part of the lawn, that like you didn't spray any chemicals, you didn't, there's no chemical damage. Given how much better the lawn is looking once you get away from the house, I almost want to lean towards like lack of sunlight, lack of light. What can you do? Something else that looks in this picture looks that it's kind of hard to say, but it looks like that area is also quite compacted. So I can look at one of the earlier pictures here. Yeah, see that ground looks really it looks hard and compacted, which would not be would make a lot of sense, because if you figure that people going off the patio into the lawn, there's a lot of traffic that goes there. So a combination of a compacted area and possibly not enough sunlight is likely what's causing your issue. Like if you look to the left side of this, you can see some grass there. So I don't know if there's a lot of foot traffic there, and lack of light that's causing the issue. Because the rest of the lawn, if you look again 6 feet away from it, it looks great. It's just right here next to the house. So a couple things I would say. Let's try aerating it. So let's try and relieving that compaction some. Feed that area like you would any other part of the lawn. So don't do anything special as far as nitrogen or any kind of nutrient inputs. And then as difficult as it might be, and you're gonna have the rest of the family kind of support you on this, is try and keep traffic off that area for the next month or so. So if they're going out on the back lawn, try taking a different path, a different route, and see if it tends to recover and grow in a bit more. Because other than sunlight and or just wear from traffic, I can't see a reason why that area is not doing as well as the rest of the lawn. But again, I know someone that literally has an area in their lawn about that size that looks just like that, and it's because of where that area sits in relation to how the sun passes over their house. It's always really thin. And also that area of their lawn that struggles, it's one of the big areas of what they would when you walk out the back door onto their patio, like people walk in and out through that area a lot. So that's not helping the grass either. So aerate, keep folks off of it. And then let's see how it does over time. That would be my my advice. And again, I'm saying all this assuming there's not some chemical reason, like there wasn't like some damage that happened to the lawn in that area that's causing it to not do well. Because if it's a sunlight problem, not a whole lot you can do about that. If it's a traffic problem, which it looks like probably a combination of both, that can get better. But you're gonna have to have the family cooperate with you as far as getting that to do better. So hope that helps, sir. Sorry you're dealing with that, but it can get better over time. And again, thanks for sending the pictures, and so other folks can see what you're dealing with. All right, we have another super chat. This one is from Mr. Cedric G.
Super chat received.
He says, Big Ron, don't forget the fungus and insect control. So you may have to eliminate one of your original 4 choices. Just saying, man. See, Cedric, this is why I don't do it. This is why I don't do that, because you got a good point. Because a fungicide, given how often I reel mow, I do need a fungicide. I don't. New York lawn guy, I'm just gonna have to say that I cannot achieve the results that I do on my lawn with only four products. I'd be rolling the dice. But if I have to roll the dice, Cedric, I can't. You think about it, you gotta have fertilizer. You gotta have Essential G. I gotta have Primo. So I can't take any of those away for a Celiprin and or Headway. I think we just say that 4 products is just that's an unfair request. So there you go. I appreciate the super chat, Cedric. Thank you for all the love and support.
Super chat
And I think you
received.
are the highest contributor. So Tank and Theodore, Cedric hath replaced you, but you did have your moment. So there you go. Your name in lights for whatever that means to you. Appreciate all the love and support. And Cedric, you highlight exactly why that's a horrible question. Not nice. All right. Next up is Oki Lawn Guy. Says, hey, Ron, have you heard of Bermuda mites and what do you use to treat them? I have heard of them. It's not something that I've ever had to deal with personally in my lawn. As far as controlling them, there is an insecticide that that I've recommended to a lot of folks and they had great results with called Delta Guard. And I'll send you a link to, actually, I'll show you where you can get it. You can get it on Amazonia. So I'll find it really quick here and I'll just I'll send it to you. This is what I would use. Delta Guard G. This one right here. This will get it done. All right, so this is what I would use for Bermuda mice. Okay, Long Guy, are you sure you're not the same person that asked me this question on YouTube? Because I think someone either yesterday or today asked me this, and I said I answered the same way. So you might be the same person. If not, maybe not. But at any rate, this is the product that I would I'd recommend for Bermuda mites. There you go. All right. So helps out, sir. Sorry you're dealing with that. And if you need anything else, let me know. All right, next up is Jim Schmid. He says, hey, Ron, I've started the season off with a 12024, eventually switched to Humic Max 1608 in late April. I've gotten great results, but with all the heat and stress, do you object to switching back to the 12024? Not at all. If you want to go back to the 12024, you can absolutely do that. I don't, but there's no problem with that at all. If you want to go with a higher potassium fertilizer because you think the lawn would benefit from that, especially given what you're seeing in your lawn, no problem at all. It's not like you're going to hurt anything. The lawn will be just fine. So no issues at all with that, Jim. If you want to go back to the 12024 for another month or so, and then go back to Humic Max or use 12024 throughout the rest of the season, that would be okay too. For cool season lawns this time of year, that is the fertilizer that I recommend. I recommend the 12024 versus Humic Max. If you use the lawn care calculator on the Golf Course Lawn Store, it should recommend that instead of Humic Max if you have a cool season lawn. Let me make a note of your comment. Jim's is a good one. I'm sure other folks are going to have that too. Pretty sure. But yeah, to answer your question, there's no issue at all with doing that. Yeah, because I'll actually show you. Let me see here. So if you go, I can find the calculator. If you go back to the Golf Course Lawn Store and you go to Get Started, which will bring up our fertilization program calculator, and you have, say, 4,000 square foot lawn, and then you say your grass type is cool season, and then work through, we'll just say yes to all the rest of this stuff. You'll see that it recommends the 12024 for a cool season lawn. So, and for warm season lawn, it would recommend Humic Max. So, but again, no issue at all with you if you want to go to that. So hope that helps, sir. If you need anything else, let me know. No issues at all. Max Allen, Greenskeepers in the house, says, hello all. What's going on, Max Allen? Thanks for coming to chime in, man. You're coming like a regular. You always come in with all the either the obscure questions or the obscure facts about different topics. So really cool having both you and Devin in here. So I appreciate you taking time to hang out on a Thursday night for a change. So thanks for the support. All right, next up is Ruben Texeria. He says, hey, Ron, thanks for everything you do. Learned so much from you. What do you recommend for mowing height in the spring, summer, and fall seasons? Great question, Ruben. I maintain the same height of cut throughout the year because I'm willing to also increase my mowing frequency if needed in the times of the year when the grass grows faster. So if you don't want to do that, you can start with the lawn a bit lower in the springtime. Like say if you're real mowing. And then when the summer months hit, if you want to raise the height of cut a little bit so you can keep, say, the same mowing cadence, say twice a week, what you may find is that for 6 weeks out of the year, mowing only twice a week at, say, 3/4 of an inch is going to be a challenge, right? As far as making sure you're not taking off too much material in the lawn. So if that's you to where, getting an additional mow in during the week this time of year is too much, then bump the height of cut up a little bit so you're not taking off too much green. If you have the time to be able to increase mowing, in other words, if you have the time to have your mowing match the growth rate of the grass, then you don't necessarily have to change your height of cut throughout the season. Like Bermuda loves it. It doesn't really care. It doesn't really care if you keep it at, 3/4 of an inch or 5/8, throughout the entire season, as long as as long as your mowing frequency is adjusted or matches the growth rate of the lawn, which it tends to grow a bit faster this time of year, even with growth regulator. So yeah, hopefully that helps. I am not someone that really recommends necessarily changing the height of cut in the summer months. You do hear that guidance, right? Like conventional wisdom will tell folks, yeah, when you have a lawn, summer months, let it grow a bit taller. The reason for that, and that's really advice for people that don't watch like a live stream like this, or people that aren't really serious about their lawn. So if you are someone where you'll mow your lawn once a week and that's all you're ever going to do, then it is good advice to let it grow a little bit taller in the summer, because if you don't, if you keep the same mowing cadence, you'll be taking too much off at one time and it's going to look ugly, right? You're gonna be scalping it. It's going to discolor it. So by letting it get a little bit longer, the amount of the grass of the lawn that is green, that third of an inch, becomes a longer, more, is more leaf you can cut off while still preserving color. Just what I'm trying to say. But if you're someone, again, that has the time and desire to keep your lawn looking like, pristine throughout the entire season, you have the time to increase your mowing during summer, keep the same height. That's what I do. I mean, throughout the entire year, that's what I do. Like spring, summer, fall, my height, my I can't tell you the last time, in other words, my lawn was over an inch in height. Like the highest it's been in the last 3-4 years, probably longer, is like 3/4 of an inch. That's like the top. That's as high as it gets. So hope that helps, Ruben. It really depends on where you are in the country. 3/4 of an inch is fine all season long. Especially also here with us being in Georgia, because we don't really have winters that are our winters are relatively mild. So even leaving the lawn at 3/4 of an inch into the winter is not really a problem. All right. So next up we have Jim Schmidt. He says, okay, should I switch to the 12024 or should I stick it out with Humic Max until the fall? I'm using the 22-3 blends as well. Okay. So Jim, I'd say this: how is the lawn looking? If your current nutrient program with Humic Max and the liquid fertilizer is producing a good result, I would just stick with it, man. I'd roll with what you got. If you're seeing a bit of stress and you're thinking, hey, you know what? Maybe if I can increase the amount of potassium the lawn is seeing, maybe that'll help some, coupled with more watering, then sure. I mean, either one of them can work. But what I'm telling you is that for warm season lawns, Humic Max is what I recommend really throughout the entire growing season, because it's really not that much nitrogen. You're not pushing that much growth. So it's a fertilizer you can use pretty much throughout the entire season. For cool season lawns, when you get into the hotter times of the year, if you still want to feed it, using a fertilizer like the 12024 is a good choice, because a couple of things. One, there's more slow release nitrogen in the 12024 than there is in Humic Max. And it also has more potassium, which is helpful for the time of year whenever the lawn is seeing more stress. So it really depends on what you're seeing in your lawn. You're not going to hurt anything by sticking with Humic Max throughout the entire year. That is what I do. You know what I mean? But if you want to swap or go to a higher potassium fertilizer, that's fine too. Either way will work. All right, next up is Fairway Bermuda Lawn. Daryl's in the house. What's going on, Daryl? He says, what's up, Ron? I've been using the 444 organic fertilizer and I am impressed on the color I'm getting. Plus, I add to the flower breads and it works great. I appreciate you. Awesome, Daryl. Really, really glad to hear that you're getting good results with that fertilizer. What he's referring to, guys, if you are wondering, is over the course of a couple of years in development, last year we finally released the new organic fertilizer from Miramichi Green, which is, in my opinion, dethrones Milorganite. It's better than Milo in pretty much every way. So what he's talking about, if you go to shop and then on fertilizer, is this: the organic 444. I'm getting excellent product. We're now offering it in 50-pound bags, so you get even a little bit more for the same price. It's a great product for someone that wants a organic, like an OMRI listed, truly organic product that has a bit of iron in it. It's a balanced fertilizer. It's got a microbial package. It's got a bit of everything. And you want something that's truly organic, excellent choice. So glad to hear that you're getting great results with it, Daryl, Fairway Bermuda. And if you need anything else, definitely let me know. If any of you guys are also wanting to see some really good lawn care content, Bermuda content, go check out Daryl's channel, Fairway Bermuda Lawn. As you can see, that's the name of his channel. Yeah, he's a really good guy. He works on his lawn. He also helps his neighbors out with their lawns. So if you just want to see another take on lawn care program, I'd definitely go over there and give him some love. All right, next up we have another super chat. I see this one is from Mr. Kenny Cadow. our SEC LSU fan.
Super chat received.
He says, I've been putting down a half a pound of N every 2 weeks. I've started to notice that the dog pea spots are greener and growing faster. Contemplating going up on the N. I wouldn't do that. How much would you start putting down to push? I really wouldn't do that, Kenny. I really wouldn't. Because here's the thing, if you're putting out half a pound of nitrogen every 2 weeks, that sounds to me a lot like 1 pound of nitrogen per month, which is really all that Bermuda needs. You know what I mean? I really wouldn't go heavier than that. Like what you're applying is more than what I put on my lawn. I put about 7 to 8 tenths of a pound of nitrogen in total on my lawn throughout the month. So if you're doing a pound of N, that's really, really all you need. I really wouldn't go up much more than that, to be completely honest. I mean, your call. You can play with it if you want. If you want to try increasing it a little bit and see what kind of results you get, you can, but it's not something that I would do. I would, where you are already is just where it's going to be. I mean, in case of point, I wouldn't necessarily say that the lawn, the green spots from dog, urine are a good litmus test that you can go out and just put more nitrogen in your lawn. Because I think Robert, I don't know if I have Robert's picture. He sent me a picture of his lawn last week, and I'm not going to be able to find it. No, because that's not his lawn. So you can find him in email. He sent a picture of his lawn, and his lawn looks fabulous. Looks really good. And his lawn has some dog pea spots in it that are a little bit darker in color. Yep, I found the picture. I found it. Yay for that. If this will come over. Let's see. All right. So yes. So here's a great example of a Santa turf grass that I think most of you would be very happy with. But even in the small areas where the dog is doing its business, the lawn is a bit darker. So if we go here, I can show you what I am talking about. So take a look at this lawn. I think that most of you would look at that and be like, you know what? That's a pretty good Santa turf grass. I'd be happy with that. But if you look ever so closely, you can see little circles in there. Like if you see, I'll tell you where you can look. You see the 2 shrubs that are in front of the porch. If you look right in line with that, you can see, I count 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, like darker spots where I imagine a dog has peed there. And it is a little bit darker green. And yeah, that's the thing. But I would not take that to say, hey, if I go out and I just hit my lawn with even more nitrogen, I can get it a lot greener. Can you see a boost in color? Sure, maybe. But you can also cause a lot of problems in the process too. So I really wouldn't do that, Kenny. So I'm trying to convince you not to. It's your call whether you want to give it a shot or not. But I just want to show you, a lawn that looks excellent, that has, dog urine spots in it, and another one where I really wouldn't recommend going up on the end. You're already at a pound of nitrogen. Really no need to go much higher than that. Again, thank you for the super chat.
Super chat.
I do appreciate it. All love and support. If you have any other questions, let me know. And for what I saw last time, your lawn is looking great. I really wouldn't mess it up. I wouldn't go over there and take the chance of potentially, causing disease problems, causing, accelerating thatch development in your lawn by pushing too much end, by putting too much end down. There's a whole lot of reasons to not do that. So I would really avoid it if I were you. Okay. Next up is Melvin Otta. He says, hey, Ron, can you apply PGR and the new liquid fertilizer and micronutrients after I mow? Or do I need to wait? Or apply before and wait? Yes, you can apply them after you mow. If you're asking, so what I normally do, Melvin, is I will mow, like say I mow today, I will then tomorrow morning go out and spray my liquid fertilizers. You could mow and then do them all on the same day, but I typically break it up by a day. Mainly because it's just a lot of work. So I will mow normally, and then the following day I will spray my liquids in the morning, and the new micronutrient and fertilizer and growth regulator all play nicely together. There's a link that I posted in the chat. I'm not sure you saw it because I know your question was a little bit earlier, that shows a couple of combinations for mixing those products together. And in there I make mention of growth regulator. So yes, you can mow today and then spray tomorrow. You could mow today, and if you really wanted to, you could spray on the same day. What I would not do is spray say tomorrow morning and then mow tomorrow afternoon. I would do the mow and then spray and have like a day or two after you've sprayed before you resume your mowing. So that's the one thing that of the different combinations you gave me that I would avoid. So hope that helps, sir. Great question. If you need anything else, let me know. And keep me posted. Take pictures of the lawn, man. Let me know how the lawn does as far as, your color response from the products can be posted. Looking for feedback. Hopefully you guys love them as much as I do. Higgy Pop is up next. He says, "Hey Ron, we got some rain here in Georgia, didn't we?" Right? I was like, "We need more, but we're thankful for what we got." Right? He says, "With the high heat not stopping, I decided to raise my height of cut. Besides watering and raising the height of cut, any other suggestions to help reduce stress in the lawn?" Not. I mean, that's it, really. I mean, just watering and increasing your watering is really the thing. You having Bermuda it's going to be fine. It's not like it's going to die or anything like that. I mean, in extreme cases, you may find that the Bermuda it can go dormant. It can lose some of its color, get lighter in color. But yeah, I just say water it and water it. Keep mowing it, and it'll be fine. Bermuda loves heat, so your color may go away a little bit, but it'll be just fine. So nothing else outside of what you're already doing. Ideally, you would have already had a moisture manager in the soil, but barring that, continuing to keep up with your water and continuing to keep up with your mowing is a good plan, Higgy. That is what I would do. All right, it's a good question. I'm sure someone else is gonna have it, so we'll save it. All right, next up. Tank Texas says, "Hey, at Fairway, awesome channel." Yeah, man, I told you he's good, man. Daryl puts out some good stuff. And here's the thing, I'll tell you honestly, like Daryl's music mix, I'm not sure where he gets his music from for his channel. His audio, his background music is better than mine. He's always got, he's more hip, man. He's more with it than I am. My music, I find like a couple of songs and I play the same ones over and over. He mixes it up. He has more, a little more sauce on his background music, I think. All right, Tito Serrano is up next. He says, "Hi, Ron. Here in San Antonio, we always get big cracks in the lawn because the ground opens up like 4 inches wide by 5 to 10 feet long every year. We are under water restrictions. Should I fill in with soil?" I mean, you can, but I don't know that you really need to, Tito. It's just that it's just really dry. It's really dry. What your lawn needs is water, and you can't water it, so there's not a whole lot you can do. I don't know what really filling it in with soil is going to do. I'm thinking, are you going to hurt anything by doing that? Not really, but I don't know that you gain anything from it. You know what I mean? So if you're just looking for something to do, I guess, but I don't know that you really gain much by doing that. Because in other words, once you get moisture in the lawn, so it begins raining again, that is going to, that dry and cracked and ground that's actually getting harder is going to soften, and you should be fine. So I honestly wouldn't. I don't know that you really gain anything by doing it. All right, next up is Catherine A. Garcia. She says, "Hey Ron, I have crabgrass issue. I just renovated the lawn this spring and wasn't. I says, I have smooth leaf crabgrass. I'm from California. Tried Quinclorac with 2 applications so far. I have tall fescue." Okay, so if you use, Quinclorac is the herbicide to use for crabgrass. Did you use surfactant with it? So, we carry surfactant like this spreader sticker. This will help on camera. This will help or improve the results that you get with Quinclorac. You can also use what's called a methylated seed oil, or MSO. If you go and search for MSO or methylated seed oil, if I can find one for you. So I can find one I can send to you. And you mix that with Quinclorac, you'll also get good results. The thing you have to be careful with using an MSO is that it does tend to make a fertilizer, the blend a little bit hotter, meaning that as far as the chances of you having some discoloration in the lawn, like the chances are increased whenever you use an MSO versus just using surfactant. But if you're not getting results, then stepping up to a methylated seed oil along with Quinclorac would be a good way to go. Something else to keep in mind too is that crabgrass, like most weeds, is best controlled when it's young. Now we're well into the season, so the crabgrass you'd likely have is more mature, so it's going to be more difficult to take care of. But if you are spraying, so here's what I would do: if you're spraying Quinclorac by itself, then I would use a surfactant, or I would use a surfactant with it. So the step one, or an easy way to go, would be to go with something like this, like a spreader sticker. And I'll send you a link here in the chat here in a second to where you can find it. You should start seeing better controlled results with that. Barring that, then you could see about stepping up to like a methylated seed oil. And I'll send you a link here to where you can find one. But again, you got to be careful with that stuff because the chances of you having some discoloration in the lawn but using an MSO is quite a bit higher than what it would be with using just a surfactant. But methylated seed oil does really help a lot with crabgrass as far as like the stripping away like that waxy layer that's on the leaves and helping the herbicide to penetrate a bit better. It does work better for that, but again, you got to be careful. So this is a good option for an MSO. Let me send this. So this is a better option for that, but again, I would try surfactant first. Most people are able to get a pretty good result with just surfactant. But yeah, here is a good one. I'll send you a link here in the chat to where you can pick it up. And hopefully this helps. Surfactant. I guess for you guys, talking and typing is like the hardest thing. All right, so there you go. You got two options. Hope that helps, Catherine. Sorry you're dealing with crabgrass. But I mean, between those two, you can go from there. Is there anything else I can try to help eradicate the crabgrass? You can also dig it out. That's another option too. That's more work. You can just physically remove it. That's an option. But again, if you want to still go the herbicide route, use surfactant along with quinchloride. By itself, if it's young crabgrass, fine. But really, once it gets to be more mature, using a spray adjuvant like surfactant or like a non-ionic surfactant or or methylated seed oil is going to produce a better result. Just be careful with it. And let me see. Actually, no, here we go. She says, I have tried. No, I'm only answering your question. I tried quinchloride with MSO, 2 apps so far. Anything else I can try? No, that should do it. I mean, that should do it. I mean, assuming you're spraying it at the correct rates, that should do the trick, Catherine. Yeah, 2 apps of quinchloride with an MSO. That really should, you should start seeing results from that. So here's what I would do. I would double check your rates. I would double check the rates you're using for both quinchloride and also double check the rates that you're using with the amount of MSO that you're mixing with it. You should, I mean, even if it's not killing it off, you should see like a really strong response as far as discoloration in the crabgrass. And 2 apps should absolutely show that. So if you're not, it leads me to believe that maybe the rates you're using are incorrect or something along those lines, because that should do the trick. I mean, again, going back to my first comment, like crabgrass, as you get further into the season, crabgrass is more and more difficult to control. So this time of year in July, it's probably more mature crabgrass, it's more difficult to control, but 2 apps of quinchloride with MSO really you should have seen a response. You should have seen some results from that. So I would double check your rates and make sure that you're spraying at the correct rates. And outside of that, you can always just dig it out. Again, that's another option too. So hope that helps. Sorry dealing with it. Sorry I didn't scroll down and see your third comment before I went through this whole monologue on spray adjuvants. So could have saved myself and you some time, right? All right, next up is Ryan Babbage. He says, hey, Ron, I purchased a carbon kit and lost the link for the video tutorial on how to dispense it. Would you share in the chat? Yes, I can share in the chat, but you know what, Ryan? And let me just make sure it's still here. I don't want to make a liar to myself. Make sure didn't get removed. But if you go into yeah, here we go. It's still there. Yeah, that's gonna be kind of awkward. So you said you got the carbon kit. If you go to the golf course lawn store, and this is true for a lot of the products that we carry where we actually do have video for them. So if you go to shop and then lawn fertilizer, and then you scroll down and you find the carbon kit right there. For the products that we do have video or application videos, if you go to the product detail section, like right here, click on that, in here, you'll find a video normally that will talk about like rates and how to use it and this type of thing. So this video was shot a couple of years ago, and it assumes that you're spraying the carbon kit once per month. So this is it's still valid, still an optimal way to use the product, but you'll find videos within the chat. So what I'll do is I'll get you the link and I'll send it to you. But just in the future, if you ever need it, that's where you can find the and if you have a product that we carry and we have content on how to use it, there will be a video in the product detail that has that. The same one you see on YouTube, the same one that's on YouTube will also be there for this reason. All right, so here you go, Ryan. There you go, and that's the video, I think. Yep, that's it. All right. Next up is New York Lawn Guy, 4 total. No, you're being too mean. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. So sorry for the painful question. Great job. It's still a terrible job because even, Cedric chimed in. He says, hey, man, if you do what New York Lawn Guy is saying, you're not going to be able to do your insecticide and fungicide. Just think your lawn will get all eaten up in disease. I thought I could pull it off with that, but he brought me down to reality. He helped me realize that, I was writing checks with my mouth that, the lawn would not be able to cash if I went that route. So 4 is going to be a problem. 4 is going to be a problem for me, New York Lawn Guy. All right. Larry says, I noticed Bermuda coming in. Is it too hot to use Triad Select and Sedgehammer after I get the watering under control? Yeah, so Sedgehammer, not too hot. Triad, it's 8. I think there are temperature restrictions with that one for 85 degrees or less, which is true for most 3-ways. Like you want to stay at 85 or less whenever you're going to be using that product, which is going to be kind of tough this time of year. Sedgehammer would be fine, but Triad, if you can find a cooler, like a string of a few cooler days to spray it, that would be better, unless you're willing to tolerate some temporary injury. I mean, kind of unlikely it's going to kill your lawn, but it's just you are going to see more discoloration if you spray at temperatures that are higher than recommended than if you don't. So I would try and find a stretch of weather when it's a little bit cooler and go that route. Something to keep in mind, though, you say you notice Bermuda. You can't use like Triad and Sedgehammer will not control Bermuda grass. If I memory serves me, your lawn is a fescue lawn, so those two are not going to. They won't kill Bermuda if that's what you're after, Larry. So yeah, no, that's not gonna. If you're trying to control weeds in the lawn, then yes, Triad as a 3-way for your broadleafs, and then Sedgehammer as for your sedge control. That combo is great. But if it's to control Bermuda grass, that will not do it. You got to go to something like Pilex, or I think Acclaim is safe for fescue. But double check me on that. Check the label. But Pilex is one of the more common cool season herbicides for controlling Bermuda grass and, like, say, a fescue lawn. But again, check the labels. Double check the labels for those. But yeah, so that combo, great as a general for cleaning up weeds in your lawn, but not Bermuda grass. They won't do anything. It won't touch Bermuda. Bermuda tolerates Triad really well, and it also tolerates Sedgehammer really well. So it's not going to do anything against Bermuda. Okay, next up is Toucan Sam. He says, on your slope, get here. Okay, so Toucan Sam says, on your slope, do you use liquid or granulator fertilizer, and why? I don't use liquid or granular fertilizer. I use both. They get both of them. So the same program that I use in the rest of the lawn, Toucan Sam, is what I use on my front lawn. I use a granular fertilizer once per month to do most of the nutrient, to supply most of the nutrient needs for the lawn, and then I supplement that with a liquid spray every 2 weeks for my liquid fertilizer, biostimulants, and growth regulator. So the front lawn, the slope lawn, gets the exact same nutrient program as the rest of the lawn. No difference at all. And as far as why, because it's fine. Because even though I have a slope lawn, it's like, here's the thing, guys. This whole notion that if you have a lawn with a slope on it, that like using granular fertilizer is going to be. I think this is the why behind your question. That using a granular fertilizer on a sloped lawn is going to cause a problem, like you're going to lose a bunch of it to runoff, is really overblown. If you have a severely sloped lawn and you get 6 inches of rain, you might have some washout, but you're probably also going to have some soil washout. You're going to have some erosion as well too. But for most fertilizers, if you apply them, water them in after application, a slope will hold a granular fertilizer really well. It's just because you have a sloped lawn doesn't mean you have to go to liquids. So if that's the reason behind your question, I would let you know that, sloped or non-sloped, they both will, granular fertilizer will work well on both of them. So hope that helps, Toucan Sam. And next up is Cody. He says, evening, Ron. No long questions tonight, but go Dogs. Man, I'll tell you what, all the trash talking we were doing, we better hope that Georgia does well this year. We have every reason to go, because here's the thing. Here's how I'm kind of playing this out in my mind, guys, while I look for the next question. You got to figure, we still have our head coach. We still got, for the most part, like solid coaching staff. Like there's always turnover, right? We still have like the core folks that have gotten us there, right? And Alabama, they lost old St. Nick. So if we have to meet them at some point in this season and lose, It's not good. Like we lose to anybody else. We could even lose. I mean, I hate to say it. Hate to say it. Like losing to Tennessee would be better than losing to Alabama this year. You know what I mean? I think they probably agree with that. We don't want to lose to any of them, but I think a loss to Tennessee would be more tolerable than a loss to Alabama, given that they've had like the guy that led them to all these national championships and just beat up on everyone in the country for a number of years is no longer there. If we lose to them, it's not a good look. So, all right. Next up is Abdul Alim. He says, "Hey Ron, I had a soil test done and everything is low except sulfur. Where should I start? Thanks." So with everything being low, a good balanced fertilizer that has a bit of everything, like our complete 14714. I'll show you here, Abdul. So if you go to shop and then lawn fertilizer, and then the second one is this guy, which has a bit of everything. It's got your nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. It also has some micronutrient in it as far as iron, magnesium. Actually, you know what? I'm trying to remember all these, but I'll tell you exactly what's in there. So there's manganese, iron, and magnesium in this as well, along with some kelp and humic acid. So it's as far as like a fertilizer that has a bit of everything, the 14714 would be a great choice. So this is what I would roll with. I don't see how low everything is, but given that you're asking this question, in July, you're likely going to be able to roll with this throughout the rest of the season. So I'll send you a link to that where you can pick that up if you're so interested. And that is what I would this is what I would do. So this is going to cover you from like from a granular fertilizer standpoint. If you also want to spray liquids as well, then our new liquid fertilizer, the 22-3, this would be a good supplement along with that. So say you're doing a spoon feeding program where you're using the 14714 once per month, and then you're also going to spray liquids every 2 weeks. This would be an excellent choice because much like the 14714, it has a bit of everything, right? You got nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, also has micronutrient in your iron, manganese, magnesium. So it's got a bit of everything it's a good combination, it's a good sidekick. If 14714 is Batman, this is a good Robin to go along with it. So between those two, that should really do a good job as far as raising the nutrient levels in your soil and getting a nice color response. So I already sent you the link to the 14714. I'll send you a link to this one as well too if you decide you want to do both of them. And that is what I would do if I had a lawn that is missing a bit of everything. So hope that helps, sir. Appreciate the support. And next up is Peter Brown. He says, piggybacking on the worst question of the week. He says, if I wanted to build the perfect bundle off your site for a cool season lawn, what would it be? You can use more than 4. Sorry, and New York lawn guy. Okay, so I could tell you, or Peter, you could use the carefully created tool that we did like last year for this very purpose. So I get to show off my baby. Because again, I wrote the code for this. So I'm kind of proud of it and wish you guys would use it more. So to answer your question, you're saying, what's the perfect bundle for a cool season lawn for this time of year? So we can simply go here. And we'll say that you have a 4,000 square foot lawn. And actually, let me get your question off here so we can show the whole thing so everyone can see what's happening. All right, get that off. Okay, so you have a 4,000 square foot lawn. Well, that's wrong. Yep. And then, what kind of grass do you have? You have a cool season turf grass. And then, are you going to be doing spoon feeding? You did say ultimate bundle, so obviously we're doing that. Does your soil need phosphorus? No, I'm assuming no. Do you need growth regulator? Yes, please, and twice on Sunday. And do you want granular biostimulants? Optional, but you did say like the ultimate combo. So you add that all together and say next, and it spits out this combination for you. So the 12024, great fertilizer, the carbon kit, Primo Max growth regulator, and Essential G. So this is a great combination. I mean, this is going to do a great job as far as producing a nice response. You hit add to cart, it'll throw it all in your cart, and you're off to the races. If you wanted to add a little bit extra to that, so let's say you want that X factor to kind of improve this just a little bit more, because this is not in this kit because the product didn't exist when I wrote this like last year. But if you wanted to supplement that and add one more thing, just one more thing, what I would say is you would add our micronutrient. while the fertilizer, the granular fertilizer, does have some iron in it, some zinc, some manganese, if you're looking to control to fill in all your micronutrient needs, then this would be an excellent choice. So I would add this along with what the tool, the bundle builder spits out for you, and then you're off the races. Really, you're going to be doing what I do on my lawn. So as far as like the way that tool works is, I thought about given the time of year, what makes sense for a cool season lawn, what makes sense for a warm season lawn, and how can you build a bundle that is going to give you enough product, at least enough of the liquid product for up to 3 months, and then granular for at least a month. Because with granular, it's harder because as far as it's hard to code that, because if you have like a 4,000 square foot lawn, then it's a single bag of humic max will be just fine for 3 months. But if you have a larger lawn, then you may need more than one bag to cover 3 months. So that's why what the bundle spits out is really a 3-month program for liquids, and then granular, you may have to adjust the amounts up based on the size of your lawn. But that would be it. That's what I would do. I would use our bundle builder, which again, you can find on the homepage of the Golf Course Lawn Store. If you just go here, it's right here. If you want it in the menus, you can go right here and you can find it there too. And on some of the pages, I'm not sure if this is going to show, maybe this time it will load. And if you're not sure, you can do it here. So even in the product pages, you can find it right there. So you got really convenient. You got it like on the homepage, in the resources section, and on the product page. And that's a builder that you can use to, if I'm trying to build up my nutrient program based on what do I need for my lawn, answer a few questions, and voila, you're off the races. So hope that helps, Peter. Use that and keep you posted on your results. Pretty much what you're doing is that's going to build essentially what I do on my lawn. Okay, next up is Ryan Contento. He says, Ron, I have some money in the budget. Should I upgrade my 20-inch Ryobi rotary to a manual reel mower, or spend that on a carbon kit plus a bottle of micros? I can do whichever I don't pick next month. Man, I'm such a big fan of mowing. I'd probably do the manual reel mower, because if you do the manual reel mower, that you're going to be able to use throughout the rest of the season. And then if you have some money in your budget for the following month, then you could get the carbon kit and micros. So given the choice, both, but if you can do one for next month, get the manual reel mower, and then the month after that, assuming you still got room in your budget, then get the carbon kit and the micronutrient man, because mowing is so important. Mowing is the thing that ties it all together. Case in point. You were talking about the 5-step program, 5-step process to get in a great lawn, to go from 0 to hero in your lawn. If you look at the little infographic we did, so you have a lawn that looks like this, right? Which is how some of the lawns in your neighborhood look. So not great. You get rid of the weeds, you do a soil test, you fertilize, and then you mow, and mow some more. So mowing is a really big part of getting us to step 5, which is, domination mode. So a manual reel mower is a pretty big upgrade over your rotary mower as far as just the cut quality you're going to get. So I would lean more towards that first and then do the carbon kit afterwards. So final answer, mower, then the other accoutrement. All right, next up is OK Lawn Guy. I already answered that one, Bermuda. OK Lawn Guy, I gave you the link to the product. And then next up, Stephen Wynn says, what's up, Ron? I've been seeing people say not to use sand with clay. It'll turn into concrete. And some people saying sand is okay with clay. What do you think? I think sand is okay with clay. Like in Georgia, we primarily have clay soil. Like most of the lawns around here are clay soil. And it's just fine to top dress with sand, soil, or a mixture thereof. So no problem at all with that. What I would do, Stephen, is if you're going to top dress, and this is really true whether you have clay soil or not, is I would aerate prior to, but especially if you have a clay soil, water the lawn the day before, aerate it so it gets a little softer, aerate it, get some plugs, punch holes all throughout it, and then top dress it. And you're going to start improving that soil profile to where it drains better. And it's going to help the sand and soil blend that you're putting on top of your existing clay soil integrate better. So to answer your question, it's not going to turn to concrete. and there's no problem with using sand to top dress your clay lawn. The only thing I would do is I would aerate as part of the process. You're going to get a better result if you do that. Hope that helps. Guy and it's funny, Stephen. I mean, I always used to know when I believe it was a Vietnamese last name. So way I always remember it, and it's probably a terrible way to learn how to spell it, is I always think guy like, because it's like I say put N and then type and then spell guy and then like the Japanese currency yen. So that's how I always remember how to spell win properly. So I'm probably the only one, but that's how I do it. I don't know why I even said that. It has nothing to do with lawn care, but I saw your name and I figured I'd tell you. That's how I know how to spell your name right. Okay. Next up is okay, Lawn Guy says, oh, I asked on Instagram. Oh, yeah. So did you not get the link? Did you not get it? I'll send it to you here again. Okay, Lawn Guy. You should have gotten it, but if not, I will help you out. I'll do it one more again, as we like to say in the South. And this is and again, I don't know if this is going to be clickable on Instagram, but take a look at that. Hopefully it comes through. I don't know if it's going to be clickable or not, but give that a shot. If you're on Instagram on your desktop, like on an actual computer, not like the mobile app, for me, it's clickable. So if you're I don't know if it's clickable on mobile or not. So give it a shot. That should work for you. All right. To show, I've already got it. Same question. He says, I have Bermuda mice. What do you recommend to treat them? Same thing. If you're on Instagram and you look in the chat right now, you will see the product that I would recommend. All right. Next up is Aesthetic Lawn says, I seeded Zenith Zoysia a month ago on June 3rd. You seeded, okay, June 3rd. Okay. So it's been a little over a month. I'm on my second mow and second spoon feed with liquid fert. Sounds like you're doing pretty good to me. I'm cutting at about level 3 on my rotary mower. I believe that's about 1.5 inches. Is that the ideal height of cut? Yeah, I mean, it's 1.5 inches is great for zoysia. I would just keep it there, man. It sounds like you're ahead of the curve. Like if you seeded zoysia in June, and you're already on your second mow in like July. Today's July 11th, so you're doing really well. Zoysia grows. I mean, your lawn is establishing really well, is what I'm trying to tell you. So yeah, I would keep it at that height of cut. 1.5 inches is just fine. Zoysia will tolerate that. The big thing is you don't want to scalp. It's a brand new lawn, so you don't want to be getting into the soil and potentially taking chunks of lawn out. So as long as the height of cut that you're at allows you to mow the entire lawn without any kind of scalping, I would continue to do that. So great job, man. Very nice. Very nice. Zoysia established in a month. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. You were ahead of me. My compadre Zoysia took like a year and change to establish. So the fact that you're already mowing in a month is pretty nice. Aesthetic Lawn. Okay. Next up, and yeah, anytime, Daryl. No worries, man. And then next up is Ryan Contento. He says, is that the same lawn with the amazing overseed from last winter? Yes. Robert, we affectionately refer to him as that guy. This lawn this is what it looks like now. And yes, it was overseeded last year and looked insane. And this is what it looks like now. And he will tell you that it did take a while to recover from spraying out the ryegrass. But I mean, come on now. I mean, even if you don't like Bermuda and you don't like stripes, you still have to look at that and say, like, you know what? That's a pretty good sand and turf grass. I think anybody who looked at that would have to say that looks pretty good. But yes, it's the same guy. Same guy. Mr. Prism Gauge, Mr. he's just, if you ever meet Robert, you'll understand why his lawn looks the way it looks. All right, next up is Abraham Soto. He says, good evening, Ron. Happy Friday, even though it's really Thursday, but okay. Is there a negative effect to using a 1010 granular fertilizer every 30 days all season and spoon feeding with a 600 liquid fertilizer and iron? Shouldn't be. 1010, you're not going to be overdoing, or I mean, assuming you're applying it at reasonable rates, it's going to be pretty tough to overdo it on the nitrogen. And 600 liquid fertilizer, as long as that liquid fertilizer is for a foliar spray, so you're able to put it out every couple of weeks, that would be fine too. I don't know the products you're talking to, but just in a vacuum, that looks like that would probably work all right for me. So try it out and see how it works for you. I don't think that you should have any problems with that. All right, Tom Hoffenkamp is in the house. He says, Happy Thursday, Ron, and all y'all lawn fans. Forgive me for forgetting, but can I apply fungicide whenever? If I apply in the morning, it's going to hit the high 99s. Is that a problem? Fighting a little bit of leaf spot. You said I did Pillar SC times 2. Lawn is 90% okay, but it looks like there's a little leaf spot left over from excess, too much water used after top dressing in the recent hot temps. Okay, so can you apply fungicide this time of year? Yes, you can absolutely do that, Tom. There's no problem with doing that. Temperature-wise, there really shouldn't be an issue with it. If you've already done 2 Pillar SC applications, then good idea to rotate to something else. So consider a good option is a 336F. Check the label to make sure that it's labeled to control leaf spot. But I would, after you do 2 apps of the same fungicide or the same family twice, I am a fan of rotating. So yeah, I'll send you a link here to the 336F. But here's the thing too, you might just find too, Tom, is if it's 90% looking good, if you just back off on the water, that might really be all you need. 'Cause, I mean, fungicide it's a tool. It's going to help. It definitely helps. But I mean, maybe if we just reduce the amount of water we're putting on the lawn, because by your own admission, that we're probably a little heavy on the water. So if you can back that off, the lawn will likely just grow through it and be okay. You may not even have to apply another fungicide app. If I'm wrong though, and you decide you want to do it, this is what I would use. Given that you've already done 2 group 3 and 11 fungicide apps, you can go to something else. So hope that helps, but I would try first backing off the water and look at it and see how it does over the next week or 2 if you just reduce the amount of water the lawn's getting. I think that's probably going to do it. All right, next up is Daddy Batty 8. It's a funny name. It's pretty good. He says, I'm in Central California, very hot. I have what we call water grass and heavy spurge in Bermuda. Any suggestions on killing it during this heat? I would tell you Celsius, but I don't think you can get Celsius in California anymore. Because like a 3-way, if by water grass, I think if you're referring to nutsedge, if you're referring to nutsedge, that you can get. And for Bermuda, what I would recommend is Certainty. I'm pretty sure Certainty can still be used in California. I think, pretty sure. I have to check. But Certainty and surfactant, like that combination, will take care of sedges. And then for spurge, you can use a 3-way like triad, but you got to be careful with the temperature. Like that one does have temperature restrictions, unlike Celsius. So if we go to shop and then weed killer, for sedges, this will do the trick. Certainty will do that. We'll take care of that. And then for your broadleaf control, given that you're in California, you can use this Trix. I think this can be sold in California or can be applied in California. But again, you got to be careful because this one, if you have a day, really 85 degrees or lower is what you want is when you want to apply this to minimize the chance of discoloration. If you spray it at temperatures higher than that, you are likely going to get some discoloration in your lawn. So it's something to keep in mind. So I'd really try and find a stretch of cooler days. I know it's hard to say that in the summer, a stretch of cooler days in the summer to use this. And then that will be that'd be a good substitute for Celsius as far as your broadleaf control. So I'll send you links for both of those at Daddybug. So this is, you said not nutsedge. Then I'm not sure what you're referring to then. So for broadleaf, then that. So for your spurge, that is what I'm trying to say. And then for watergrass, I'd have to look at what you're talking about. I'm not sure what you're referring to then. So hopefully that helps. If you need anything else, let me know. But if it were sedges, Certainty, and if you're looking for like a good, broadleaf control that you can actually get and use in California, then the one I just sent you the link for. You are very welcome, Ryan. No problem at all. It says, Andre Taylor says, if alternating between the carbon kit and the 22-3 when spoon feeding, okay, would you use the 22-3 at the beginning of the month when putting out humic max or the middle of the month? Doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. Either way will work. It doesn't matter. I'm assuming you're talking about like alternating between the 901C carbon kit and say 22-3. It doesn't matter. Whichever you. I mean, if you want you could do the 22, you could do Humic Max and the 901C on the same day, and then do 22.3 on the middle of the month. Yeah, actually, the more I think about it, that would actually be a better way to go, because um, as far as adding like as far as adding like a bit of micronutrient like in the middle of the month, then that, assuming you're not also spraying micros, the 22.3 is a better option versus front loading everything at the beginning of the month. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter, but the more I think about it, I would do Carbon Kit Humic Max first, and then middle of the month 22.3 if you wanted. So, but again, it really doesn't matter. Like you, I'm probably overthinking this like you, but it kind of makes sense to me that giving your lawn a little bit of micros in the middle of the month would be good. Okay, hope that helps, Andre. And then Offered Envy says, hey, Ron, it's Thursdays. Cheers. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm drinking, what am I drinking here? I'm drinking lemonade and water tonight. Chick-fil-A lemonade, though, so I'm bringing out the good stuff. And then next up, we have LTX Shep. He says, I emailed a picture showing some clovers. What's the best way to get rid of them? Yeah, so I don't think what you sent me, I think if I know what you're talking about, let me see if I can find your picture before. I think you sent it right before the live stream, Lloyd. Yes. Yeah, what you sent me, I'll show everyone here on the live stream just for everyone else's I guess edification. But I mean, this is what you think is spurge, sorry, what you think is clover isn't clover, it's spurge. So this is the picture of what you sent. And if you look there, like that's not clover. If you look at it, that's spurge. I know because I have a little bit in my mulch bed that I sprayed today. So those leaves you see there, that's spurge. That isn't clover. If you want to see clover, I'll find a blog post that we did on clover. That you'll see what clover actually looks like. That is not it. That is I'm fairly confident that's not clover. That's spurge. And I'm trying to find. I'm pretty sure we have. Yeah, there we go. We got one right here on clover. Yeah, because it should be. Yeah. So this blog post is literally all about clover. Covers different types of clover, different color clover, the appearance, how to identify clover, and you will see that what you have in that picture absolutely is not clover. That is spurge. So at LTX Shep, that blog post will let you see what you should be working with. And as far as how to get rid of them, I believe your lawn is Bermuda. It looks like one using grass. Maybe. Yeah, it looks like Bermuda. Okay, assuming your lawn is Bermuda, what you can do, or some kind of warm season grass, you can use Celsius. Just use it at the higher rate. So this Celsius and surfactant, absolutely use surfactant. This combination at the higher rate will control spurge. So I'll send you a link to where you can pick a little kit that we have that has that up. LCX Shep. I'm assuming you're gonna be spot spraying, so you can always just use the small one. But yeah, that's not even if it were clover, Celsius will control that too. But really, it's not clover, it's spurge. So here you go. I'll send that to you, and if you need anything else, definitely let me know. Shep, that link will take you to it. Okay, next up we have Oconee Jacket. He says, got my 22.3 and micros and Primo down today. After the Georgia rain, the lawn is growing fast and is crazy thick. Hope I can avoid a high to cut reset. It looks too good. So the way you can do that, keep up with your mowing, Oconee. Just don't let it get away from you. So keep up with your mowing. Don't miss a day when you're scheduled to mow. I mean, we're into mid-July, so you might be able to. Most people that have to do one are doing it like they either do it like late June or around now. So if your lawn is still looking pretty good at the mowing schedule you have, you might be good to go. All right. Ahmed Jones says, I just put down turf builder on my Bermuda lawn to keep it green. What else would you recommend? it depends on what you're trying to achieve, Ahmad. I mean, there's lots of other things. There's micronutrient you can use. I don't know which turf builder products you're talking about because there's a bunch of them. Um, but it depends on what you're trying to achieve. If you're looking for growth regulator, that's an option to apply that. If you're looking to get a deeper green, you can use a micronutrient like this. Just go to the home page, and then this is our new micronutrient. This will pair nicely with whatever fertilizer you have because this doesn't have any nitrogen in it. This is strictly like the micros to include iron is going to help really boost the depth of color in your lawn. So this should be pretty safe to apply with the turf builder fertilizer. Anything else, I have to know which one you used, and again, also what you're just trying to achieve. So this, I feel fairly confident and safe with recommending. Anything else, I'd have to know more what you're looking for. And you said you applied it in liquid form. Yes, I know the turf builder is a Scott's product, but I don't know which one you're talking about because I'm not well versed in their suite. But yeah, a micronutrient would work. But again, I'm not sure if what you're using was applied through a hose end sprayer, but this cannot be applied through a hose end sprayer. You have to use like either a pump sprayer or a backpack sprayer. Like the rates for this are a lot more concentrated, so you cannot apply this through a hose end sprayer. So I'm just putting that out there in case that is what you're planning to do. But yeah, that's the product I was showing you on the live stream. So take a look at that, see if it fits with what you're trying to accomplish, and go from there. All right, Progression Decibel is up next. It says, Ron, Bermuda, Cumming, Georgia. Two-parter. Number one, after top dressing, how long to wait until real mowing over those spots? That's thing one. And then thing two, I took the McLean out for a maiden voyage. Bermuda was at 1¼ inch tall. I had a height of cut at 13/16. 13/16, not 7/8. Are you sure it's 13/16? But the reel would stop spinning in the dense parts. Cause? Reel to bed knife was set correctly. No engine bog. I don't know. I mean, if the reel stops spinning, maybe there's some kind of I don't know. I'm not sure familiar with the drive system of the McLean's. Maybe it's like a clutch problem or something that's causing it to not to, it's getting bogged down some, and maybe not enough to bog to where that load's being transferred to the engine, but enough to where whatever is connecting the reel to the engine, which I imagine is a clutch of some sort, maybe that's worn, and that's what's causing the reel to stop spinning when it encounters the lawn. So for part one to your question is once the lawn is grown through, so for the most part, there's a lot more grass that you're seeing versus sand. It's kind of a nebulous answer, but when you look out on your lawn, it's mainly grass. You may see a few sand spots here and there. That is when you can start reel mowing. I would raise the height of cut up on your reel mower. So I've got a video literally on this topic and it's like what comes after top dressing. And the third tip, I believe, is about mowing. It's saying whatever height of cut you're at, raise it up a little bit. It's a short video. I'll send this to you so you can take a look at it. So I would say thing one is to raise your height of cut so you don't end up messing up your reel to where you have to go out and get it sharpened again. And then for thing two, it sounds like some kind of like a mechanical problem, because if the reel stops spinning, but the engine isn't bogging, then the load from the mower cutting the grass is not somehow it's not being transferred. In other words, what should happen is that you should hear like the note of the engine change if it's too thick. The fact that that's not happening, it sounds like a clutch problem or something is worn. There's some kind of disconnect, is what I'm saying. So I would look at the mower. You said it's nice and sharp. That's good, but it's sounds like when that's happened before. In other words, when that's happened with my True Cut many moons ago, that's when I had a clutch problem. So that's what it sounds like to me. But even again, I'm not super familiar with McLean's, but what you're describing sounds like some kind of a clutch issue, because otherwise the engine would bog down when the reel stops. If the two are if they're mechanically linked, like if they're tied together, you're gonna hear it. You're gonna hear the engine begin to labor when it runs through grass. It's too thick or something. All right. Next up, we had Aesthetic Launches. I was really lucky and happy that I had no issues with germination, and it's my first ever full renovation. I wish I could show you my progress. I did post in the lawn care forums. I'm from San Antonio, Texas. Very cool. Yeah, here's what you want. If you want Aesthetic Lawn, if you have the picture still, email them to me, and we can get them on the live stream for next week. So it's ron@golfcourselawn.com. So right here, that's my email address, ron@golfcourselawn.com, to say, hey, this is Aesthetic from the live stream with the Zoysia seeding project. So I'll know. So send me a picture, send me the pictures, and I'll have them in the queue for next week. We can show everyone the progress of your Zoysia lawn. And what will be kind of cool is you can send the pictures that you have now, and then if you want to wait till like next week, Thursday, and then takes another picture, then you'll be able to see another weekend how much further it has progressed. So we can absolutely show it off if you want to show everyone the fruits of all your hard work. It's Me 2017 says, I did a masonry sand leveling, and there's some spots that have yet to grow back. 3 weeks, and I have applied Primo Max. Am I in trouble to recover? No, not really. I mean, there's some areas that just sometimes take longer than others. It's completely a thing. It's Me 2017. There's some parts of the lawn that grow through really quickly, and other parts that will take a bit longer. So maybe in those areas that it's still not grown through, you probably went a little bit heavier, not due to going super heavy, but maybe if there was like a dip there, and so it took more material to fill in that spot, that's going to cause the lawn to take longer to grow through it. I wouldn't worry about it. It's going to eventually grow through, and you'll be just fine. So nothing to get too worried about. You'll be good to go. Really wouldn't sweat it. All right, End Time Watcher says, hey, Ron, thank you for all your advice on my lawn. The neighbors are giving me compliments of how great it looks. You are the man. I appreciate you, Minister Eddie Belk. Awesome. I am really happy to hear that, Eddie. That's awesome. Really, really happy to hear that your lawn is looking awesome, and that other folks are taking note and complimenting you on it. It's pretty cool, right? I mean, a lot of it we do for ourselves, so we just enjoy the process. But it's also nice to see when other people recognize all the hard work we're putting into our lawns. So very, very cool. Keep going. It's only going to get better the longer and the more you work on it. That's what you tend to find is from year to year is the level of where the lawn starts out the following season tends to get a bit better. Again, assuming you don't have any kind of tragedy, like you have a big disease problem or something like that. For the most part, each year the lawn tends to do a bit better if you're consistent throughout the season. So if you like how it looks now, next year it'll even be better. So keep going. That's all I can tell you. Keep going. Daddy Batty says, thanks for the info. You are very welcome. Happy to help. And then next up is, I love mimosas. Mimosas are pretty good. I have to agree. They are not bad. Says, hey, Ron, I'm in Georgia. I have sod that was poorly applied, and there are numerous gaps and rocks. Do you service the Hoshin area? I could use a consultation, please, Tony. I don't really do like live consults, Tony. Just a time thing. I really don't have the time to do it. If you want to send me a couple of pictures to ron@golfcourselawn.com, I'll take a look and tell you what I think. The thing is that it's more than likely going to fill in with time. So if it's really poorly put together, you may, whenever you eventually top dress the lawn, that should help those areas fill in and just make things a bit more even, because I'm assuming what you have is Bermuda. I mean, you're in Georgia, so I'm assuming it's Bermuda. So Bermuda will eventually spread and fill in, and it'll be a lot better. And definitely once you top dress it, any of those little low areas in between where they didn't put the sod, they butt it up very well, that will also fill in. So it's really nothing to worry about. Sorry that you're dealing with a poor sod job, but you've got the grass that doesn't really care. Like Bermuda is still going to spread and still grow through it. So I really wouldn't be too concerned about it. Just a time thing. Just once you can, start mowing it, feeding it, and just it'll take off like wildfire. So I wouldn't be too concerned. All right. Next up is Arthur Benjamin. He says, Bermuda in my Xeon Zoysia. I heard that recognition and fusillade is the answer. You heard correct. Recognition is expensive, hard to get, and not in your store. And why? That's not true anymore, Arthur Benjamin. It actually is in the store. If you go to shop and then weed killer, it's on the top shelf right there. You can get recognition and fusillade in a kit, no less. So you can get both recognition and fusillade and surfactant and dye, all in a convenient kit that has everything you need. If you already have fusillade too and all you want is recognition, we also have that too. You can come down here, you can get just recognition, and you can combine that with fusillade and surfactant and take care of it in your lawn. So we've got that. It's I agree with you. We absolutely should have it on the store, and we do. So I'm going to send you a link here. If you look at the pinned comment on the live stream, I'm not sure what You should be on YouTube. I think you're on YouTube, but I'll make it even easier for you. Right here is where you can pick up that kit if you so desire. There's a recognition and fusillade kit. It's not an inexpensive product. To your point, it's not inexpensive. It's kind of pricey, largely due to that to the safener that's in it. That's in recognition. It's kind of hard to come by. But the thing is, it's not like it's a package or herbicide package you're not going to get a lot of use out of, right? I mean, it's kind of specialty, but it's not like, you're not going to have to control Bermuda grass at some point, like probably even next year. Now, what you should find is you do an application now, another one in 4 to 6 weeks, and that's going to do a lot of the cleanup. You may still have some breakthrough again next year, in which case you've already got the product, you've already got the kit, and you're good to go. So it's something you will get use out of. It's not like a one and done for the prices you're paying. So should be good to go. And again, I think the kit, I'm looking here, the kit covers 56,000 square feet. So you figure if you got a 10,000 square foot lawn, that's 5 apps if you're blanket spraying the entire thing. Most people don't need to do that. So hope that helps, Arthur. It's in the chat. If you need anything else, let me know. It's also the pinned comment. And if you guys, anyone that's watching this after the live stream, it'll also be the comment. This will be the recognition fusillade kit will be the pinned comment in for the live stream afterwards. Not right now, but after the live stream's over, it'll be like the first comment that you can see. Okay. CH says, is there a quick way to determine, oh no, actually no, I didn't finish your other question. Your other question was, any tips for Japanese beetle control? Yes, I would use an insecticide like acelepryn. Yep, so I can show you that as well too. So recognition, we got you covered on that. And then Japanese beetles, ideally you want to get them earlier in the life cycle. But what you can use is this. So if you go to shop and then fungicide, insecticide, and then you have acelepryn available in one of two forms. You get it either as a granular, which works fine, and also as a liquid, as a suspension concentrate that also works great too. So it just depends on which method of application is your preference. Either one of these will work. So I will send you that as well, Arthur. So I got you covered on recognition, and I got you covered on Japanese beetles, so on insecticide. So there you go. You got both of them. Good to go. If you need anything else, let me know. All right, CH says, is there a way to quickly determine if you are over or underwatering? Underwatering, so what you tend to find with Bermuda grass, let's say for example, like if you have a lawn that's nice, lush green, when you're underwatering, the lawn will begin to lose its color. Like, yeah, no doubt, Ron. It'll begin to lose its color, and the next step is it begins to get like this like a dullish, almost green gray look to it. That's when you really need to either one, get rainfall or increase your watering, because the next step after that is the lawn will begin to go dormant to just try and protect itself. So it starts out with first, the lawn loses the nice, vibrant, dominating the neighborhood. People asking you if your lawn is astroturf, you lose that. And then the next goes to like a dull greenish gray color. At this point, it's like Danger Will Robinson, definitely get some water on the turf. And then after that is when you can start seeing some parts of your lawn beginning to actually go dormant. So you can pay attention to that, to those steps to know where you are in that cycle. And what you may find too, CH, is that your entire lawn may not behave this way. You may have some parts of the lawn that are managing like less water fine, and some areas that are drying out sooner. So you may have to do some spot watering in some places, whereas the other parts of the lawn are doing fine with like the irrigation cycle you're using. And you are saying, use measuring cups off of Amazon, you were getting a tenth of an inch in 30 minutes from the stroller system. 2 hours seems like a long time to water. Yeah, but I mean, that's probably not enough. I mean, you figure you want about an inch of, at least this time of year, an inch of water per week. So if your irrigation system is only putting out a tenth of an inch in 30 minutes, yeah, you're gonna be watering a long time, man. It's gonna take a while to get that water out. So maybe look for a system that will put out more water, I guess. That's the only thing I could tell you. But those are the signs that you can look for underwatering. Overwatering, you can start running into disease problems. So you can create conditions where Pythium can be more of an issue. There can be other leaf diseases that you can start to see more in the lawn if you're overwatering. So don't do either. What I'd say is get to about an inch of water per week, and then assess how the lawn's looking. What you will normally find is the majority of the lawn is going to look pretty good, and there's going to be a few areas that are, I guess, like localized dry spots, in which case you may have to do some spot watering to bring those up to the rest of the lawn. So hope that helps. Get to an inch of water Ideally over a few watering sessions. So instead of watering every day, watering 2, maybe 3 times per week, a bit heavier is a better way to go. And that should put you in a good spot as far as, helping the lawn get enough water to do well. So hope that helps, CH. And then, or Chris. Okay, Chris, I'm sorry. You said CH, but Chris, but I'm guessing answer still applies as far as how to determine whether or not or how much water to put on your lawn. All right. Next up is Aesthetic. He says, since the seeding project, all I've been doing is hand pulling weeds, spurge, sedge, goosegrass, crabgrass. I was afraid I'll damage, prevent growth on the new seed, 4,000 square feet. When can I spray? Here's the thing, man. That zoysia is coming in so nice. I would, as much work as it is, as much of a pain as it is to continue to hand weeding, I would continue to do that because you don't want to take the chance of you getting out there and you're spraying a herbicide and you maybe stressing it and potentially causing some injury. And the more I look at that combination, spurge, sedge, goosegrass, crab, yeah. So it's unlike, I'm trying to think if there's not even a single herbicide, a single product that will do all of those well. You see what I'm saying? So you're gonna be doing a combination. So again, given that your zoysia is growing in so nicely, I know it's a pain, man, but just keep hand weeding it. Once you get to the point where the lawn is completely filled in, you are mowing regularly to where it looks like a complete lawn. It's like there's no bare spots. If you want to spot spray some areas where you continue to have issues with, say, nutsedge or with crabgrass, I'd be okay with that. But I would really encourage you to avoid a blanket spray because the lawn is doing so well. We don't want to do anything to slow that down. You know what I mean? Like, in other words, given that the lawn was established a month or so ago, we want to do all we can to let that lawn to get as strong and get as good roots and to get established as well as we can before we hit winter months. So unless it's like you got a really huge problem, I would avoid blanket sprays. If anything, if you can do any kind of herbicide on the lawn, limit it to spot sprays just to the weeds you're trying to control. So hope that helps. It sounds like you're doing a lot of the right things. I would just keep doing that. I wouldn't change it up. It's not broke, don't fix it. Progression Decimal says, thanks, Ron. I'll take a look at the belt clutch on the McLean. And yes, correction, it was at 7/8 how to cut. Love the look of the lawn. So short, it's never been that tight in its life. Very cool. I like it. Keep going. And then next up, he says, Ron, one more question. Do you have suggestions for products to pair with the carbon kit when putting it down? Anything I can mix in the sprayer at the same time to get maximum results? As a matter of fact, I do. I linked the video in the chat here earlier, but I can link it again for you. Only because it's you, Ryan. Normally, I wouldn't do this, but since you asked and it is you, we can make that happen. So let me get over here to page 2. Yeah, there's a short that I did with fertilizer combinations, liquid fertilizer combinations, and it literally is the answer to your question, and it's only a minute long. So it's a lot of info condensed into 1 minute. So at Ryan, if I can get my focus there. There we go, at Ryan Babbage. There we go. Why am I doing, there we go. Yep, that one. So take a look at that. That has like a couple of different combinations. I think there's 3 combos in there to include the carbon kit and other products. So hope that helps. All right, we have a super chat. This one is from Clayton Jeffries. Nothing, just saying a super chat. Thank you so much, Clayton. I appreciate you.
Super chat received.
Thank you so much, Clayton. Appreciate all the love and support. It really does mean a lot. Thanks for taking some time to hang out on the live stream. And then, and just to kind of supplement your question, Brian, that video will show you the products that as far as combinations you can use. Be sure to keep up with your mowing because that's the thing that kind of brings it all together. I always keep saying this, like mowing. He or she, all things being equal, he or she who mows most wins. So don't neglect mowing as part of your program for domination. Brad Larson says, typically this time of year, I do a very low scalp to avoid occasional scalping at regular mowing height. This year, I verticut and I'm still scalping when mowing. Should I verticut the opposite direction? Verticutting, for me anyway, does a pretty good job as to sufficiently thin out the turf to where I'm able to mow and not have scalping issues. What you might try, Brad, is do a cross cut. So verticut in one direction and then cut. So like say this is your lawn, soil test kits your lawn. If you verticut this way, then do a verticut like this. And that that should do it. I mean, that should thin it out enough to where, you know, you shouldn't have any problems with scalping on your lawn due to the mower floating on top of the grass. Like that should be sufficiently thinned out that you should be in good shape. All right. So hope that helps, sir. It's a great question about verticutting and scalping. Good stuff. All right. Next up, we have Progression Decibel. He says, I caught up on all your Revolution 26 videos. I think that'll be my next real mower. I have bought from Real Rollers in the past. They're great folks. Feature set on the 26 looks great. Yes, I agree, man. I'm telling you. And again, I get nothing for saying this. It's not like Lee even, you know, I have no financial incentive or any reason to tell you about the Revolution 26 other than I've used the mower a lot. I got to see it being developed over year and a half, 2 years, whatever it took from the time he started thinking about it. From the time it was a twinkle, the time it was a little real in Lee Purcell's eye to what it is now. I got to see a lot of that. So, and I know how much work and passion and love went into making it as good as it is. So I highly would recommend it. Highly would recommend one. So yeah, I mean, I'll put it this way: had I not been gifted one, had Real Rollers not given me one, they surprised me with one because they're just who they are. I would have purchased one this year because my True Cut is down or was down. I couldn't get parts for it, and I needed a mower that I could cut some very specific areas of my lawn, like the swale area between Alex's lawn and my lawn. The outlet won't work there, and the Greensmaster won't work there, but the Revolution does. So it's a great mower, man. You're not going to be unhappy with it. Would highly recommend it. Stripe's great, climb's great, really good mower. All right, Jason Sewell says, 2 weeks ago, I sent some pics and specs of what stayed on my yard. I severely over-applied T-Nex, still very brown. What's your best guess on when it will bounce back? Appreciate all your advice and help. Okay, so depends on how heavy the application was. I've seen some folks, go as heavy, Jason, as like 10 ounces per 1,000, which I don't know how you do that, but I mean, that is a gross, I can't say, gross isn't even a strong enough word, but it's a gross over application of Trinexapac ethyl. And in 6 weeks from the time they did that, once the lawn turned yellow and looked like it was, about to die off, it did begin to recover. So depending on how long it's been, I'd say 4 to 6 weeks, you should start seeing some recovery. It's kind of I don't know how heavy you did it, but depending on how bad it was, the over application was, that's gonna dictate how long it takes for the lawn to recover from it. It's unlikely that you kill the lawn from doing this, but 4 to 6 weeks. 4 to 6 weeks is what I've normally seen when people overdo it with growth regulator. Not to say anything about T-Nex, but if you can, if you decide you're still going to use T-Nex, at some point, buy like 1 bottle of Primo. Here's why. You can use the measuring cup on here, right there, to measure out how much of the product you're using, and that way you don't have this problem. Even if you refill this with, like, say, T-Nex, you could, if you really want to do that, and that way you have one of these, and it's like a very accurate way to consistently always make sure you're putting the right amount of product in your sprayer. Because the amount of Primo that you have to use is so small that it's difficult to accurately measure using like a normal measuring cup. Having something that has like 1/10 of an ounce gradients is it's worth it. It's worth having one of these laying around if for just that reason alone. So just something to consider. Just a thought. All right, next up is Clayton Jefferson. He says, hey, Ron, I ordered some Headway G about a month and a half ago, and the lawn bounced back great. Also using the carbon kit, Hydrotane, and PGR is a game changer. You are the man. Get the likes up, guys. I appreciate that, Clayton. Thank you so much for the kind words. Glad to hear that Headway took care of the disease problem, and that everything else with the program, moisture managers, carbon kit, and growth regulator are getting it done for you. Love to hear that. You sent me some goodness gracious. Oh man, he sent me a picture too. This is, you're showing out, man. This is sweet. Okay, so I think this is the before. Let me get these pictures here. And then this is the after. Wow. Okay. So let me show you guys. We can make this happen really quick. So again, guys, you're gonna send pictures, please, pretty please. with a cherry on top. Send them in like landscape, not portrait, because it makes it easier for me to format them. I don't have to spend time like rotating them, but it's okay. We'll make this happen. It's worth it for these pictures because it looks pretty sweet. Okay, so I can get it right. Okay, so this is picture 1 of where Clayton was before. That's picture 1. Got some problems going on there. This is another picture of it that I need to rotate first before I put it on the live stream because you guys will be mad at me because you can't see it. All right, here's another angle of it, I think. Oh, what I do? Did I break it? No, I didn't break it. I think so. We'll see if this loads. Okay, yeah. So this is another picture of the same area in the lawn. Let's get rid of that. So there you go. Nice cruiser, man. If that's your cruiser, looks cool. So you can see the problem area there right close to us. And then now he sent the final, and I think this is his 4th of July picture. And I got to tell you, man, this is 4th of July done right. This is 4th of July done right here. So this is I'm imagining last weekend, 4th of July. That looks pretty awesome. Very nice, sir. Stars and stripe, got the red, white, and blue going on. I like it. Really cool. So yeah, thanks for sending the pictures, Clayton. Glad to hear the program. Carbon kit, Headway did the cleanup as far as the disease issue you were dealing with there, and the carbon kit growth regulator. And then obviously don't forget, your hard work and consistency led to that awesomeness. So very nice. Keep going. Looks good, man. And again, assuming you're a police officer, appreciate all you do for keeping bad guys in their place. All right, next up is short grass. He says, I put the full rate of PGR by accident on Bermuda, LOL, and it's fine, but the grass still fast, and I just had summer scout with the outlet. Okay, so you did, I'm not sure what you're saying here. So you applied PGR, the grass is okay, you don't like the Out Liberty, and you wish you got a different mower, but the outlet is still good on Zoysia. Okay. All right, there's no question there, but okay. Aesthetic Lawn says, okay, thanks so much. We'll continue to hand pull. I don't mind it, just curious. I mean, you can, but here's the thing, Aesthetic. Can you use herbicides? Yes. But keep in mind that even herbicides that are labeled as safe for your particular grass type, they are still a stressor. So you go out and you use something like Celsius, which is an excellent product, on Bermuda, it's still a stressor to Bermuda versus not using a herbicide. And given that your lawn is so brand new, like it's a brand new Zoysia lawn, and you are definitely ahead of the curve as far as it rooting in and growing in so nicely, I wouldn't want to do anything that's going to take a chance of slowing that down. So I would just keep mowing it, feeding it like you have been, and just manually pull those weeds. I would personally do that because it sounds like you're doing really well. Okay, Michael Kuhn says, would you be able to recommend a high quality Bermuda grass seed that I can find online? Thank you. Not any that I have direct experience with. A lot of people are using Monaco and Yukon. Those are two that you hear a lot about these days, Michael. Only ones I have direct experience with are Arden 15 and Princess 77, but unfortunately those are both discontinued. So look into Monaco and Yukon. Again, a lot of folks, I think Kenny Cadow, if you saw him in the live stream here earlier, I believe his lawn is Monaco, and it looks really nice. So even Monaco is even though it's not like a hybrid Bermuda grass, it's still, the color still looked really, really good. All right. Next up is Tom Hoffenkamp. He says, it's early, but for real world results, the prodiamine in the fall, dithiopyr in the spring method worked great. 6 to 10 perennial plants all winter and spring. Only 2,000 square feet, but still a statistical 0. Great results. Yeah, that's the thing. So with POA, because I think you have cool season lawn, Tom, I believe. Maybe not. But at any rate, like a split app of prodiamine, if that's all you can use, so you have a cool season launch where all you can use, you can't use spectacle, in other words, then a split app of prodiamine in the fall is a good strategy for really reducing the amount of POA annual you have to fight the following year. But the thing with that is you're more than likely going to use a lot of your allocation that for your 12 months. So that's when rotating to what he's saying to dithiopyr or dimension in the spring is a good strategy. So glad to hear that worked well for you, Tom. Next up is Jason Sewell. He says, have you heard about the California Trimmer Catalyst? I have. I've not seen one personally. but I think it's like their interchangeable system mower, but I've not seen one myself. There might be some content on YouTube, but I haven't come across anything myself as yet. Yeah, I have heard of the mower. All right, next up is Gary Callahan. He says, um, "Hi Ron, I have a 26-year-old, well-established Bermuda lawn in North Texas. I am experiencing a lot of spotted spurge weeds. Is there a product I can blanket spray to eliminate this weed?" Yes. So what you can use is a herbicide called Celsius. You may have to, I mean, one app at higher rates should do the trick, but this is what I would go with. So the thing to keep in mind, though, Gary, is you want to really pair Celsius with surfactant for best results. So I'll send you a link to where we have that on the Golf Course Lawn Store. We also have a kit. We have two kits. One that has the 10-ounce bottle, and another kit that has, I don't have it here. Yeah, I do. That has the individual packet. So depending on how big your lawn is, you may be able to get by with one, or maybe the small one will work for you. Or if you have a larger property, or you want to be able to do more than one application at the cost per app being cheaper, then the 10-ounce bottle is a better deal. But I'll send you a link to where you can find that on the Golf Course Lawn Store now. And yeah, that's what I would use. I would use Celsius, especially this time of year when it's hot, because Celsius, even like over a broad temperature range, you can use Celsius with like far less chance of discoloration. Even when you mix surfactant with it, just be sparing with the surfactant. Don't like it's like one to 2 teaspoons per thousand. That's really all you need to get a good result. So don't overdo it with the spreader sticker, and you'll get a good result cleaning up the spurge and not causing discoloration to your lawn. Even if you get some discoloration, it's going to be temporary. Yeah, this is what I would use. So at Gary Callahan, there's the link to what you would need. All right, Devin is up next. He says, "Oh boy," he says, "I'll try to give you a tough question." Oh man, this is, I don't know. I probably need to let me hold on to my chair for this one. But I'm sure you already know the answer. Say I'm new to lawn/turf scene. Why is it important to take care of your soil? Part 1. And then part 2, do humics, biochar, algae, gypsums really help? And how do they help? All right. So how does it, is it, so question 1, for someone that's new to lawn care, how important is it to take care of your soil? Because like the soil is the engine that fuels your plant, that fuels growth. When you apply fertilizer, when you apply like a nitrogen, right, like a granular fertilizer, the microbes, the bacteria, all the healthy bugs that are in the soil break that down and can convert like the fertilizer, the granular fertilizer that we use into a form that's available for the plant for uptake. So the healthier you can make the soil through the use of biostimulants like compost, like biochar. Biochar really helps with if you can think of it as almost, it's like a charged charcoal is really what it basically is. But it allows you to get more out of your fertilizer applications. Like a lot of granular fertilizer that you apply is lost. Like it moves through the soil profile. Like the process is called leaching. It leaches through the soil to where it gets to the point where it's not accessible, not usable by the plant. Biochar, if you ever look at it under a microscope, it's like a bunch of like pores and pockets all throughout it, and it attracts and holds onto those nutrients, helping them to be more available for a longer period of time. So why this is a good thing is you're able to use less fertilizer and still get a great result. So you get more out of the money you're spending on fertilizer. Humic acid, kelp products, all those help fuel and improve soil quality, which is going to grow a healthy lawn. So the best way, the thing I would say is this: you can always tell a lawn where that has great soil versus a lawn that is synthetically green. And I'll explain the difference. A lawn that is fueled by healthy soil, whenever it sees more stressful conditions, like when it gets colder or when you have like temps like now, it's still going to look pretty good because like the foundation of what's fueling the plant is sound. Whereas a lawn where all you're doing is you're pushing like a lot of synthetic growth, like you're pushing nitrogen at it, you're throwing fertilizer at it. You can get it to green up, but it doesn't tend to last and work as well. So I always tell folks, and hopefully it comes across in my content, that the reason why I consider like biostimulants like Essential G, like the carbon kit from Irrigation Green, all these products that we use that have components that help improve soil quality to be so important is because that is the engine. Like great grass is a byproduct of great soil. Kind of like if you want a six pack, like a good, or you want to be like a good physique, yeah, you can get in the gym, you can work, but really a good diet, a good like and a lot of consistency is what's really going to help fuel a great body. And this the great soil is a byproduct, or great grass is a byproduct of good soil. So if you have great soil, it's pretty tough to not have a great looking lawn. So that's why I'm a huge advocate of using biostimulants, doing soil testing, because that way you are correcting nutrient deficiencies in the soil. Like you're giving the soil what it needs, but not what it doesn't. And the only way to know that is to soil test. So literally, like probably the best $30 you can spend in your lawn care program, more important than fertilizer, is one of these, because it'll tell you, hey, what does my soil need? You apply that, you amend it, and then again, great looking grass is just a byproduct. I mean, great soil helps also with if you think about like just disease resistance, right? Like the healthier your grass is, like a healthier stand of turf grass manages drought better. It is less susceptible to disease. So there's a whole lot of reasons to focus on great soil health. So hopefully that helps answer your question, Devin. It's kind of a softball, but a lot of people don't probably wonder why if you look, a lot of the products that we carry on the store have a component that helps boost soil effectiveness, soil quality. Is That's why, because really it's like chasing a great lawn directly is not the way to do it. Get a soil test, fix what the deficiencies that the soil tests are saying, and then an amazing stand of turf grass is a byproduct. Just all you got to do then is feed the soil and mow, and you'll get a great looking lawn. Like it's practically impossible to not have a great looking lawn if you do that. Okay, next up is Timothy Gonzalez. He says, "Hey Ron, I just sent you some pictures from last year to this year. I just opened up a battery powered reel and put it to use. Gonna have to buy a big boy reel next year. Thanks for helping me make this change." Sounds cool, Timothy. Let me see if I can find the pictures really quick. I might be able to. Ooh, good Lord. Ooh, you got to warn me, Timothy. You say like last year to this year. You can't just spring these kind of pictures on me. Ooh. Yeah, so there's a pretty big change. So last year, again, it's not the worst I've seen, but there were some challenges here. I think we would all agree that this is not. I mean, there's not the worst lawn, but there are definitely is some challenges with that, right? I think you look at that, we all agree that's got some problems. You know, it's seen better days. So we go from that last year to the same lawn this year. If I can get this to load, maybe. Yeah, big difference, huge difference. So from that to that, yeah, you can see the differences. You see like the little the windmill that's in the lawn. You can see the windmill there, and you can see the base of the windmill here. So that's a pretty big difference, man. So yeah, so from that to that, from this to this in a year is pretty awesome. So awesome work, Timothy. Great work, man. And here's the thing, like I always tell folks, like know where your lawn is now, like where you are, not there, where you are now. This is the new baseline. That's the new baseline. Like it only goes up from here. So you keep maintaining what you're doing, and it's going to get better and better year over year. So awesome work. Congratulations. You know what? We're going to clap it up for you. Nicely done. And just keep it going. And yes, going to a big boy reel mower is going to take it to another level. It is going to make a big difference, because you said you got a reel mower, a battery powered reel mower, and you put it to good use. And that played a not a small part in the appearance of the lawn. Now you put a powered reel mower on this. I know it's hard to believe, but it's going to get another order of magnitude better. So it's really worth the investment if you got the coin to do it. Would highly recommend it. All right, next up is Warrior One. It says, I have a 21-inch Makita lawnmower. Suggestion for a striping kit. I don't know. I don't know if the Toro one will fit, but you can also make one. If you get on YouTube and you search for lawn striping kit, I might be able to find it for you. Let me see if I can find it. I think his name is Vince. I think he's in the Chicago area. He's a video that has like a bajillion views on how to like make a lawn striping kit. Striping kit. I think Yeah, $15 lawn striper, 2.6 million views. Wow. Wow. Yeah. So this video right here, this one will show you how for $15 you can make your own lawn striper. So this is what I would do. So you go Warrior 1 versus going out and buying one. You could go watch that video. 2.6 million people have watched it and found value in it. So you could probably find some value in it too. All right. Next up is Devin. He says, perfect answer. That's why we're all learning from one of the best. Awesome Thursday night turf talk. I appreciate it, Devin. Appreciate that, man. That means a lot coming from a pro in the industry. But yeah, guys, healthy soil. That's a big thing. Healthy soil, practically impossible to not have an awesome lawn as part of it, which is why you see so much. Why, like in the infographic, when I said, if I could break down taking a lawn from 0 to hero in just 5 easy steps, what would they be? So step 1, get rid of weeds. Step 2, do a soil test. This is answering that question of what does the soil need? What does the dirt underneath my feet need to help me get a great stand of turf grass? And then once you have the answers to that, do the things that this is telling you. So we're going to add fertilizer based on what this says. And then the next thing, again, think about it. Step 1, get rid of weeds. Step 2, soil test. So do the analysis. Step 3, add inputs based on the set analysis. And then after that, there's only one thing that's really left to do. Continue feeding it and continue mowing it. Feed it, mow it, feed it, mow it, feed it, mow it. So 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4. You do 3, 4 long enough, you get 5. Like, it's impossible to not get 5 if you do 3 and 4 regularly. Like step 5 is like, even if you don't want step 5 to happen, you're going to get step 5. You could even say, you know what? I don't want a great lawn. If you mow it regularly and you feed it regularly, it's going to happen. So if you don't want a great lawn, sorry. This is not the way to not have a good lawn. And then our last comment of the evening, this is from Warrior 1. He says, thanks, because this electric mower is a hassle finding stuff since California is banning gas-powered mowers. Yeah, that stinks. I'm sorry, Warrior 1. I don't know what to tell you. That stinks. You can move to Georgia. You can have gas-powered mowers here. There is that. Because electric mowers, they are expensive, but not inexpensive, unfortunately. So there you go. All right, this is finally our last question of the evening. This is Larry. He says, FYI, my sprinkler issues came from the water company flushing their system after a break that filled my lawn with debris. The higher water pressure didn't help either. I sent the lawn pics this week. Yeah, so Larry, if you're good with it, I will send me the pictures again. Like, I know you've been taking a bunch of other pictures, like with also like the irrigation work you've been doing. If you don't mind, like send me, like put all those in an email and send them to me, and I will get them all in a like a collage, and I can tell the whole story on next week's live stream on Friday, if you're okay with that, if you got the time to do it. I'd really, really appreciate it. All right. And then finally, we got Steven says, I am still far from dominating, but I sent you pictures of your lawn with your help. We are getting there in Virginia. Very nice. Steven, I don't think I have any pictures from you from right now. So you may have to reset it. I may have to resend it. And then next up is our last one now. This is really our last one. It's Jared George. He says, I did my leveling project on 629. I went heavy in the back. Jared, okay, listen. How many times I keep saying, don't go heavy, don't go heavy. What's the second thing you say? I went heavy. Okay, I'll keep reading. Really light in the front. It's almost fully recovered. Photos soon. I still have a good dip in one spot. How soon again? As soon as it's recovered, you can go back again. But don't go too heavy. That's what I would say. I mean, you're going to do what you want to do, but I'm just saying I would not go too heavy. All right, guys, gals, everyone in between that are hanging out tonight. Appreciate all the love and support. Appreciate you guys coming to hang out. And I know it's an out of kind of off night as far as the timing of it, but I really do appreciate you guys coming to hang out anyway. This great Thursday night. We will be back to our regularly scheduled programming next week. So next Friday, which is July 19th, we'll be back here 7 p.m. Eastern to talk to you about turf grass, your lawn care goals, challenges, and everything in between. Thanks again so much. Really do appreciate you guys. Have an amazing weekend. If you need, your lawn care, as far as you need your fertilizer, micronutrients, herbicides, if you got some Bermuda invading your Zoysia or St. Augustine lawn, we got Recognition herbicide in stock and shipping now on the Golf Course Lawn Store. So everything you guys need, it's all there. So again, thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. I will see you guys next week. Have an amazing, amazing weekend. Take care.